It's almost like there's a dog bark.
No,
No.
you're hearing things. You're hearing things, Dave.
What is up, YouTube world? Steve, Vinny, Dave. The Instant Revolution podcast, number 118. If you haven't watched it, check out Steve's video earlier today. Mentions in there. Sort of a part two, I'd say. That's sort of what I had in mind, putting up the placeholder. Again, always a great time of year for nothing else, but you get people, I won't say out of the woodwork, but I mean, it's a little bit of a gentle nudge to make a video for the old YouTube Hall of Fame, no matter how controversial it can be, which I've had my my thoughts about it, especially in the early infancy. And the premise we've always said has been one that's good, which we used to do in the old school. If I sent something to Steve, the title wouldn't be invest, subscribe, Patreon, whatever. It would be mail from, and then you'd hammer out or you try to get as many names in there. I wish these were quesadilla. This is a delicious Heggy's pizza. It's a 6-pack, which has various meats on there. Canadian bacon, pepperoni, sausage, actual bacon, and others. I know there's 2 more because it's 6, but
food.
I digress.
Food. Just food. All you need to do. Food. You got food.
There's always food. There's always food within arm's reach. That's why this Cody Rhodes shirt doesn't fit anymore. I'm fat and I love food. It's a fucking 3XL and it's a belly shirt, for Christ's sake. It's fucking insane.
Are you planning on joining Team Schmedium, Dave? And we just didn't know. Are you like branching out? You like?
Hey, asshole! Wait till the national. You'll see some fucking fashion.
Oh.
I'll buy suspenders and wear them, and you want to sit? You've seen it before. Right? The kid fucking make a comeback. So no, I'm gonna be team like large. Because medium, I don't even know what medium is anymore. I couldn't even tell you what that is. When I see an M on a shirt, I think, that must be food. So, yeah, that's Baz. You're right. Nobody, and if they do, they don't like food. And if they don't like food, it's a struggle with me because I like
both
food.
of my son-in-laws.
Well, when you have church wafers for dinner, communion wafers, it's like, no, it's not conducive to the weight gain 2000 that was popular in the mid-90s.
Not sure where that came from, but okay.
No, the weight gain, like the protein powders and all the big.
Oh, I gotcha. Beefcake.
Yeah.
We'll agree with that, Baz. We'll agree with that. So, Joe, do we really have to shout out the belly shirts? Really?
I think so.
No, let's not. Moving on.
But this time of year, again, not even the first 5 minutes are already fucking derailed. The premise to actually get folks to watch other channels that aren't in their wheelhouse. That's always been the nice thing. We had it. We put, hey, mail. And again, let's say you made trades, you made purchases, or just a slew of just because came in, especially when Christmas. Because back in the day, if you were able to build true friendships with folks you liked, you could be a Bradley clause on like a Wish or a dollar store level with all the packages you send out. Brad's in the penthouse. He's the mayor, the former mayor, or he's the mayor of formerly Mink Street. But you didn't want to, and it sounds, I don't know if it sounds bad in the sense that, oh man, we got a lot of packages back then. It was, you didn't want to do them all in one video. Let's say you got 8 packages in there. It's like, well, how am I going to fit in all the names of the guys or gals or whoever sent it, the groups, to give them their just desserts. Again, back to food.
Well, and something else that you may or may not have planned to mention. Back in the heyday, 10 minutes was the cap for most people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what changed the cap, because I think after you hit a certain number of subscribers, that kind of upped the cap as far as the length of video was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But this ties into what Dave was alluding to. You could get 8 things in from tubers, and you know you only have 10 minutes, and then eventually they changed it to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the cap went away, which,
except for Alan Zepho. He's still, him and Denny are still the only two that I remember. Like, Denny would always be at 10 minutes, Alan at 15. It's like, it's not 2015 anymore.
Yep.
What's going on here? Watch time.
But of course, when they got rid of the cap, Dave was in hog heaven.
Yeah.
Because Dave likes the long videos. And not that I like long videos, I just had a tendency to make long videos at times.
It allowed, and I know Ed Crypto Grifter had mentioned it in his video. I fucking love talking about cards. I won't say to the extreme depths of Michael, this film not yet rated. We both, that's why we're so close. We have stories for the cards, and a lot of the card stories trump or supersede the actual card. Just like with Steve and the diffractor. I won't mention exactly what it is, but again, if you have a chance to get a card, it slips past the wet, clammy grasp, because again, there was another card or 2 or 3, whatever it was at that time, that popped up. You're like, I want Pokemon. I can't have them all, unless again, Powerball is one, Mega Millions is one. Unfortunately, that has not occurred. But you have to pick and choose. So again, it's like, fuck, I love this card, but this card I know is one I won't see again. I've got to go for it. So that with Michael and I, it's huge, because if we miss something and somehow it finds its way back to us, we'll sit there for like 10 minutes telling the story about it. And that's one card, and a lot of people don't like that. I get that. But I never cared, and I never will. That's the good part, because I've told people, if you just tell the story, you'll bring new people in. Not that it's like, oh, there's a fucking gimmick. I'm gonna talk for 40 minutes and maybe I'll get 2 subscribers. Fucking fools. No, it's. Are you waving your white flag, Vinny? Well, put Ghost on a pole, and then there's the white flag. He's getting ready for Wednesday night bingo, so, or his IRP bingo thing hit in the first 10 minutes. So,
So it's kind of funny you bring that up. I've been sitting here thinking, and this goes back. So, Cardboard Underground, in one of the various text interactions we've had, and man, this probably goes back to sometime early last year, I think. He stumbled across a website or whatever and was asking for IRP terms, and he threw them into one of the bingo cards or whatever and sent it to me, and I'm like, this is freaking fantastic. And of course, Vinny goes off camera, won't be able to hear anything. But in preparation for the 2023 National, we need to get some bingo shirts made up. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know how we're going to make it work, but all three of them need to be different. So we need some bingo shirts, Vinny, for the National.
Would we wear shirts like sort of an homage to our own nomenclature and vernacular?
Yes. Yes, because it's about the IRP. Since, you know...
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, you're going to wear...
No, not necessarily. No, they can intermix. They can intermix. Okay. That's what makes it unique. But, and it's not for us to wear. I don't want to wear them. I want them to get signed by all the people that we meet. Because...
And they won't be worn. They won't be like a pair of trousers or under trousers.
No. But it's one of those in which, because for the longest time we always talked about bingo, and we've it was a shtick for the longest time. All of us kind of got a giggle out of certain things, and you know, it's one of those. It's like, first time Vinny and I are going to the National. This will be the first time like the three of us will actually meet in person. But it was mentioned, make sure you bring something for people to sign. And a lot of our connections, as you know, over the last few years, by the way, IRP will be up for nomination in 2024. I checked. And if he does it on the 17th, 3 years is January 5th, 2024. So keep that in mind. Help, you know, shameless plug for the IRP in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Why not, right? Since that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But somebody had mentioned bring something for people to sign. And since we all kind of wrapped our hands around the whole concept of, you know, the IRP bingo card for a while, I just thought it was kind of a just an idea. Just throwing out ideas, because I think it would cool, because, you know, IRP bingo, why not? Kind of a cool history of the IRP ideas and concepts that have kind of randomly come out of the woodwork on this show. And what better way to, you know, commemorate going to the National together, actually have people sign the shirt. Just an idea. We can spitball it at a later date, but wanted to throw that out there.
I'd say depending on price too, that could be sort of a, again, I don't want to say gimmick, but sort of like everybody has their own, like Caleb cards. I see he's got the personal card too, like the little baseball card you can make up on Topps.com, and people give those away too. Our good friend of the channel, Baseball Collector, has his own little card. Ed and Mike O have like a dual. I stand up, but my stomach's gonna pop out of my shirt because I said previously it's too small. And I don't have my old people fat like grabber for the fucking cans on top of the shelf at the grocery store with me. But that could be like our card. You have your bingo card in the front, and you sort of have like the 7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time ... ish every Tuesday night. And then we could have the hashtags on there and all the fun.
But we need to do. I just, it's one of those in which, yeah, I thought about it from a shirt perspective, just because it's like we hadn't talked about bingo in a while. It'd be kind of a cool shirt to have. commemorates the history, but also trying to think of something to make sure that something original
Mm-hmm.
for somebody to sign. Because, like I said, a lot of we came together through the IRP. We came together with a ton of people who come and support the show, whether it be during live or in the archive. This year has been very humbling for me because yes, we interact with a lot of the same folks on here, which is truly appreciated. We get great conversation. You guys make this a lot of fun with the interaction and the questions when the time is needed to get questions and things along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But people mentioning us, what's going on? Speak of the devil, Big Scott 35, prime example.
And what up, Eric, too.
Yes.
And Mark. Next year, Mark.
Next year, Mark. Truly humbling to get a nomination out of Big Scott. Truly unexpected. What's going on, Yannick? And very much appreciated to know that in our every Tuesday night tradition, this does bring people together. And it is serving its purpose. And that makes me, that puts a smile on my face.
Mm-hmm.
It is genuine appreciation. So and that's, in my last video, that was the whole reason for my thank you. Because it's one of those in which I'm just a dude like everybody else who loves cards, who makes videos when I have shit to show. As Brad made on his comment, I'm on my way to get on the ballot for 2024 as my standalone channel because I'm making videos, damn it. So it's no, Eric, we have no damn hockey cards. How many times do we have to tell you this? And of course, Dave, always. Just for that, Eric, for those who were new, who come in sporadically, hit the thumbs up so Eric pays for the show. And Carlos collects too. Mm-hmm. We won't tell you the percentage that Carlos gets, but we've into an exclusive deal with Carlos that any of our likes, courtesy of Eric, Carlos gets a percentage too. So cross-pollinating, helping each other out. That's what this is all about. Community. Waiting for Eric to say something because I know it's going to be. Nope. You should have expected it, Eric. See? Don't be asking about hockey cards. And Mike, thanks for saying that. It's been awesome. And I've said this before, I'm going to be a little sentimental for a minute, which I know is unlike me, but as long as you don't sing, Vinny, we're good. Hey,
don't
zip it.
make me start.
Zip it. No, in all seriousness, when Dave approached me on this crazy concept of the IRP over 2 years ago, well over 2 years ago, because the 3-year is for just on the IRP channel. That doesn't include the videos in which we were doing the IRP and posting to Dave's channel. I never in a million years thought that it would turn into what we have today. We don't have 1,000 subscribers. We don't get thousands of views. That's not what we want. We've never tried to accomplish that. We poke fun of the larger channels and monetizing and, PayPal and Venmo and cash, all of that kind of stuff when we wrap up the show from time to time. But it's one of those in which we have a great set of people who come in and hang out and interact. And another one, LA Pats, jumping in here. It truly is humbling and very much appreciated. And it's not the hashtag appreciate you, bro. It's true appreciation. And I know I'm speaking for the two other guys on the screen, but I have a feeling they'll probably second and third what I have stated. But it's been fucking awesome. It has been fucking awesome. So, well, you come to the wrong place because no girls here, man. That's my dog's trying to get in here, and unfortunately, that's a dude too. So, oh,
it was my fault. I walked by and he wagged his tail and it slammed into the wall.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I've said that. And Steve will give me shit. And
Suck it up, Buttercup.
It's sort of the thing that we've all said when we started making videos and then had our kids involved in the videos. It's sort of like
Don't touch those. Stop it.
Like Phil. It's you get to have a timeline. You get to see the progression of the growth. Hey, there's a lot of folks have said it for mine. It's he's not making a lot of sports card stuff. It's like, well, I am, but in the same vein, I'm going to hammer through more stuff instead of the old. I got one package here. I'm going to show it off. It's like that's fine and dandy, but I don't want to have a 12-minute video just talking about a couple cards that I won't say don't mean much to me, but it's not. There isn't, like, as we prefaced before, a good story behind it. So it's not like I or any of the other guys. I'll speak for the fucking old school guys too. I'll put that blanket on. Then if somebody wants to say they were going to go for the Hall of Fame, which we never thought of back in the day, and again, it's tough for me to sit there and be positive. I know, it's a stunner.
You were missing the point of that. I'm bowing.
Oh, because
that's somebody.
I know. I see.
No.
I know. I see.
Let him in. Or do I need to let him in? Who is this guy?
Hey now. Good morning.
What's going on, Foxy?
What's up, Steve?
Same old shit, different day, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dave. Appreciate you asking me. Does everything look okay and sound okay?
Nope, sounds good.
Yeah.
So Falsey, we got pussy. Does that count?
Yeah.
You asked for it.
This is Chad, by the way. Yeah. So he's named after the football player, Chad Henne, of course.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yep. Why not? Sorry to crash your show.
Never.
But I was excited to get on here with you guys.
There we go.
This is my, the true roots of, I don't know, the last 15 years. This was the best part of the past 15 years of my life. Maybe not so much the past 5 years, but the 10 years prior to that. Boy, those were some good times, weren't they, guys?
Absolutely. You just made Paul's night.
Yeah. Dazzlers
There's-
and Club 9.
I can't see chat. I don't think. There we go. Maybe not.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm new to this, so I've never done this before.
It comes with practice. It comes with practice.
Yeah.
I get.
It-
What up, Paul? Paul might be the only one I really know in the chat. I've been away for quite some time, I guess. But what up, everybody else?
And everybody else is
I
Jason.
think
Foxy,
Ty is Ty
we call him
Villanova.
back in the day. Yeah, Daniel, I think he's in the Hall of Gamers.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So, but yeah, it's Foxy back in the day. Fun times were
Yep.
had. Fun times.
I was more blog TV more than you two. I mean, blog TV for me was life.
For all of us.
Yeah,
For
I mean,
all of us.
those were like, I don't know why, but they were like, oh, the best years of my life, man. That was so much fun and so much great friendships were made. Still friends with, I don't even know how many people, 30, 40 good friends, man, over the years and still today, like, Pete has. These are friendships that'll never go away. Dave, you were one of like my first friends from Blog TV. I remember
that and a lot of people get to the point of the sentimentality or whatever it is, that it's like you can't keep looking back at the good old days, but you keep looking back at the good old days because they're so fucking good.
Yeah, and they'll never be duplicated, unfortunately.
Never.
I am gonna go on record. In no way, shape, form, or fashion are 3 of the 4 people on this, no offense, Vinny, saying that the OG or the old timers is better than the new school. In no way, shape, form, or fashion are any of us trying to sit there and say we were better than it is now. That's not at all where this is going.
It was a tighter, smaller community. I mean, it was 100 people, and we all knew each other. And we all hung out with each other every night. Now it's thousands of people that are just dick riding each other, and it just wasn't like that back in the day. It was genuine, and again, just a tight knit family, man. It was something.
We all cross pollinated. We all hung out with breakers. Everybody, almost everybody knew everybody by name.
Yeah, everybody knew everybody. They might not have talked one-on-one, but you always knew everybody. You knew of everybody.
Yep, and it wasn't by screen name. You knew by screen name their first name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
And it's like we've said, different times. Still fun times now.
Sure.
It's just different. We don't have blog TV anymore, which is a shame.
Well, that's not entirely true.
We have StreamYard, which is what this is. There are some good things about StreamYard, but I still like the fact that we could have private messages on blog TV. You could have 5 tabs open and you could be having 5 different conversations with 5 different people.
Yeah.
While you were hanging out in a blog room.
Watching.
Watching a break, or if you were live. Yep, whatever. Here, we have private chat, but it's private chat with those of us who are on camera here. That's not the same.
Okay. Yep. Nope.
So that's honestly the biggest difference. At least with StreamYard, if you pay for the service, you can have up to 10 people on the screen. Blog TV, at most it was 2 people. You had your host and a co-host, and you could toggle between the 2. One was usually smaller unless you switched it up to put somebody in the big one.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, those were the days, man. Going from blog room to blog room to blog room, depending on situation, circumstance. It just.
Yeah. So anytime you guys do a show about, the good old days, I'm in. That's what I want to talk about and hear about and reminisce on. So today should be a pretty good show. I'm excited for it.
I figured if anybody stumble across the placeholder from the old school, they would be immediately like, "Oh my god, fucking Glider Man!" What?
Yeah, Ed Bird, Glider Man. You know, I could go on and on. I could have this whole show by myself reminiscing about Blog TV, but I won't. Although you guys, you know, I'm sure Dave would like to hear it. Steve, you'd probably all like to hear it, but I would definitely wouldn't want to bore the rest of your audience.
Oh no.
Denny,
Oh no.
Denny's probably sick of hearing about this shit.
I wish
You
I
will
was
you will
there.
have you will have your opportunities to tell some stories.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I
I
won't.
promise you. I promise you. We
Oh, I
will
know.
make sure you get to tell some stories.
I'll look forward to it, man. Many good ones. Many good ones. Some that I probably can't even talk about.
Or maybe you shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't, but maybe I will. I mean, I tell you what, I don't even know how to say this, but the people that I've hung out with over the years and the times that I've had with people, like, I mean, it's so hard for me to even say because I just can't talk. I'm fucking retarded. But you know, getting to hang out with like Chad, True 17, BT, watching these guys and then becoming friends with them. I mean, that was like some of the cool shit for me, man. Just becoming friends with these guys, like Rob Bensing. I don't know, you guys know Hammy too, or
Rob
Rob.
Nine?
He was like a legend back in the day. He was it. He made the best videos. He was the funniest. And today I message with him almost daily, and we're good friends. We've hung out many times, and I've hung out with so many people. You know, like I've met Ed Bird. I went to a Patriots game with Ed Bird and JBB.
Nate.
I just done amazing things with amazing people throughout the years, and I'm just glad I did. And I'm still waiting to hang out with you someday, Dave. I don't know how we haven't crossed paths, but that day will come, I'm sure.
Where are you going to be at the end of July? You going to go?
I don't think so. I mean, I could probably get talked into it, but I'm just not into the hobby, you know, like I was. Definitely grew out of it the past couple years. Once everybody else started getting in, I don't know, it turned me off. I still got all my cards. I'm just probably going to die with them, and maybe I'll get back into it, but I don't know. Maybe not.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly.
Right.
Well, at least if, again, Cleveland's back on the schedule, that's going to be closer to you.
Yeah. So definitely when it's coming back to Cleveland, I'll be there for sure.
Eric Sanderson or asks if you're in Massachusetts because of your name. It's like, no, Jason collects Mr. Bledsoe.
Tell him, Dave.
That's the name. Foxborough Sensation 11. Again, Bledsoe's number. He is in the great state of Ohio. So, like, before you popped on it, I said I'll speak for all of us. We never, and again, there's been enough of the fucking Hall of Fame drama. I've had my share of it the early years because of how it was presented, and there's pretty much not a real cap on, hey, you got to be around for a while. You can't have just joined the last 6 months, pumped out the quality videos because your mom and dad gave you a fucking tits camera and some editing software on your new Chromebook, or you just drop 50 grand on cards and everybody jacks off watching your videos, thinking you're collecting to that. It's the blog. That's where you sort of learned about people, and if they didn't have a video. And I bring this up because this was one of the first videos I ever watched after the '09 Nationals, when Elon and I and a bunch of other guys from the forum stayed together. The Pistons fan, he's like, "Look at this YouTube shit," and I'm like, "What? What are you fucking talking about? You're speaking Swahili or something. YouTube, what?" So we started watching some of that, and he's like, "Yeah, put some videos on those cards." And, what the fuck are you talking about? You just post pictures on the forums. That's what you do. So I'm like, okay. So I signed up, I think, in like early February. Because again, I'd watched. I'm like, well, should I make a channel? I don't know, whatever. I got a bunch of shit I can show. So I could have signed up right after National then, but I was like, I don't know. Nobody wants to see this shit. Signed up, watched a little bit, and you just type in sports cards. Because again, you don't think of that at that time. That wasn't like every app out there. You can fucking look up and just type sports cards, type in whatever your poison is, and fucking look at it. And not have like the C word. You don't have that. You're not running out of it. Then you probably would have. So I'm like, I looked and I'd seen, I think I subscribed to a couple people, like, oh, these guys seem pretty cool, and comment on the videos or whatever. And then like one of the first ones I actually like really watched, because again, other than sports cards, was Wilkie. I think when, I don't know if his mom or dad got in a car accident. I was like,
It was his
April.
mom.
So I watched that and I'm like, fuck, this isn't the normal stuff like I've been sort of like watching and cards. Hey, look at this card. Hey, card. Hey, card.
You hit that
It
level.
was something opening that door like, here's a little chunk of my personal life. And that's when I really got involved with people, because I'm like, you let me know a little bit about you. And I know everybody doesn't go out there and fucking give their life story, tell everybody every problem. Yeah, I have a burner. It's allowed. So you sit there and it's like, okay, this guy's putting himself out there. He's vulnerable. He's got a situation where, again, obviously it's fucking horse shit. And he's telling us about it because, hey, maybe I'm not making these videos because I've made all these goofy videos and I'm commenting. And everybody commented on videos. It wasn't just thumbs up. It was, you commented on something. Again, plain Jane, it didn't matter. But
And there was a reply comment from the whoever made that video.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, now I'm seeing more of the community aspect now. Again, you see it all the time with what I said earlier, that, hey, Foxy puts up a new video. Truth, Adam J, fucking Phenom Dave, send him stuff. Okay, tits, who are these people? So they comment, you tap on their name. Let me look through their videos. Okay, this seems like a really decent person. Boom, subscribe. So that's how it grew organically. But back then too, the blog aspect was getting to know the people more. Whoever was on there live, that was sort of the podcast, or B, if you didn't have some sort of family life emergency situation come up, you could sit there, you could watch Scott 2244 talk for 4 or 5 hours playing metal. You could see the transgressions going from like, okay, I'm on the level head, to, well, the bottle's starting to get a little lower, then, oh, the bottle's really down at the end, and I got some beers now, and then the ram head would come on and you start headbanging, and
beers were a big part of Blog TV, by the way.
I think I still have the Ed Bird video, one of the various ones where he fell asleep live on there.
Sure, I remember it like it was, and that countless JJ Powell's. JJ passed out on camera.
So Foxy,
Yeah.
Since you mentioned this guy, I'm the only one who owns this, and I still have it.
Yeah, that's a rare one. That's a good one.
Anybody remember the worst card source?
Oh, of course.
It was the best card source was the YouTube name, but
Famous.
it's a 0 of 0, folks. So it's even rarer than a 1 of 1.
Wow.
And it's in a mag. It is in a mag.
That's sharp, man. I'd hang on to that one for sure.
It's not going anywhere, man. I don't even remember how in the world I ended up getting it. I think I was hanging out with freaking Ed and JBB maybe, and he was screwing around and ended up signing his name. And then I'm like, that's what I need. I need an Ed Bird autograph. Hey, by the way, can you get Glider Man to sign it? And I don't know, a few weeks later, this is what ended up showing up in my mailbox.
Fucking awesome. I love it. I love it.
Freaking love it. One of my favorite things in the YouTube PC is what we used to call it. Because
Oh yeah, I got a box around here somewhere. Haven't gone through it in a while, but yeah, got a lot of stuff in there.
Yep, you kept your notes, your autographs, your custom cards.
Got them all.
And yep, everybody called it their YouTube PC.
Exactly. Yep.
I still got Will's balls somewhere around here.
Might have something handy here in front of me. We'll see.
I don't know where Will's balls are right now. But for context, was it Denny who was doing the auction for the MS Walk?
Yes.
And he got stuff from autograph from tubers.
Yes.
Yeah. I ended up winning Will Dawkins 311's balls, and I still have them.
I got a couple things just in front of me here. I'll share with you. It's a Rob Mensing relic, or it's a Tube Traders Rob Mensing. I don't know, nothing too crazy, no autographs or nothing, but this is a card nobody has. And let's see, we'll test some blog TV trivia. Can anybody read that name? I'll go back here. On the back. Might be blurry, but that's Trish Stepnick. Anybody know who that is? Trisha?
I was gonna say, I don't remember.
Why can't I remember the name?
Wow. Well, that's Rob Mensing's old girlfriend back in the day.
Oh, okay. Yep. Now that's ringing a bell. Okay.
So that's a fact pack. That's a Frank Campari design, I think. But yeah, a little return to sender Trish Stepnick relic. And this is actually one of my favorites. This is from C-Town, Chris. Just a custom card he made, but it's Tupac Shakur. Or wait, what is it? Lou Brock Shakur. I'm sorry. It's one of my favorite cards. It's a 101. What is it? 101 probably be punished for hard living.
The stuff that we got though from people from time to time, that was
freaking. They don't do this kind of shit nowadays, man. Or if they do, it's self-boasting shit. This is all
just to have fun.
And this is a good one too. This is Rob's Rob's dog.
I've got
Toby. I'm a big Rob Mensing fan.
Yep, I got one of those too. I bought a couple years ago, I think. When he put those up, I think, because he did that for the animal allies or the rescue place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm like, right away, I'm like, what's your PayPal? What do you let me know where to send the fucking money? Because when it comes to dogs, I'm like, that's anytime that we'll hammer that out quickly.
For sure, man.
Yeah, I still have all my Tube Traders cards. The 1 year I got in it. So yeah, R.I.P. Toby.
Yeah. I was actually I wanted to have this. I was gonna send this to PSA to get graded and ask for like a PSA 10, and I was gonna send it to Rob, but apparently they don't do that kind of shit, so I never did it. Thought that would have been.
That's unfortunate, but that'd have been cool for them to do something like that to commemorate something.
Yeah.
But it's a money grab. And since it's not a legitimate card,
Yeah.
by a legitimate manufacturer. It's
Maybe I'll make a fake slab.
Mhm.
Send it to him.
figure out a way to crack one and be able to put it back together without it looking like shit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's yeah. It's got to look good.
But yeah, old Gary and we all, well, for all of us old school guys, always talk about Gary King of Steak and doing tube traders and
Mhm.
He was amazing for the.
jeez, that shit was phenomenal, man. God.
He was a big part of the community that probably brought us all together.
Yep. Everybody look forward to tube traders every year. You
Yes.
know,
Those-
the last year he did it. I mean, he expanded it so much
Mhm.
that it took him, I think, over almost a year to complete it because
that's
so
I
many people.
Well, people voluntarily, like asked to get in it, to where prior years you weren't like asked. He just made cards of you and you were in. And then
Mhm.
I think he started charging people. It might have been like 40 or $50, and he would make
Yeah, I paid.
two traders.
Yeah.
He started doing that.
Yeah, I paid for my entry into the last Tube Trader series,
I did
but
too.
it was so worth it for me.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was not invited, or I was never voluntarily involved in that. In
We
the
weren't
years
big
prior.
enough. We weren't big enough in those days, man.
No, we were just getting started. We really were just getting started.
Yep. But such good times, man. Such good times.
Yep. Well, don't let me dwell on your guys' show
No,
here. I don't bring it down.
no, man. No, this is all about the old school versus the new school. You're on here. You're old school.
Yeah.
So
Hard to believe.
this brings us back to our heyday, and the interacting and everything else. I still remember it. And Foxy, you may or may not know this. I tell this story from time to time, but so when I first started YouTube, I had interacted a little bit on Blog TV or whatever, but I had bought a case of 2010 Prestige from Chris at the Hobby Box, and I wanted him to break it. So after he closed up the shop and everything, he went home, went on Blog TV to bust my case. And of course, anytime Chris went on Blog TV, there was quite a few people, right?
Yep.
And I kicked freaking Ed Bird out of the blog room. And I got so much shit.
Well, he
They're
was probably trolling you in some respect. That's what
but but everybody's like, do you know who that is? What did you do that for? So I had to apologize immensely. And then of course Ed and I actually got to become pretty close.
I'm sure.
But yeah, my first big fuck up, kicking Ed Bird from the blog room.
Hey, those are good memories, man.
Oh damn. Well, I thought I was gonna be like freaking tarred and feathered and like I was gonna be gone forever.
Rant video.
Yeah.
But as you can see, it all worked itself out. Good times, man. Good times.
Definitely. What else? Where's the show going?
In the toilet.
Dave. Well, isn't that where it always goes?
And that was the thing back then too. I mean, you could have, and again, I remember Sundays, and again, I don't remember, because it was like a girl in the group with like, and again, Dazzler, you're here. If you're here, let me know. Let us know who it was. Would show like the football game out there, and we'd sit there like Sunday afternoon, like a private blog, because you couldn't show that obviously on like regular blog because you get shut down because of copyright. But it'd be
Yeah,
like
I can
him.
remember. Yeah, Cam or Carm D87 or whatever. I remember like the YouTube name,
Melodam.
but I can't remember her name.
Melodam. Carm? Was it? Or what, you talk about Melodam?
It might have been. I don't. Again,
She-
that one.
she-
It,
like,
we didn't.
I was
I didn't go
talking
into all.
about-
It could be. So I know Joe was in there. R35. Adam J. Phenom Dave once in a while. Trying to think who was back in that group.
Pretty sure you're talking Melodam, and I actually have a cut autograph of her as well somewhere.
But like
Yeah, 'cause
watching football in there. I think Manny was in there once in a while. All-Star Jersey Shop.
Now Card Cave Central.
It just was fun. I mean, you could go and you knew. Point of that story again, sidetrack, shockingly. You knew when people are breaking. You knew, yeah, Marcus Lambeau Leaf fan, who I've been to a couple Packers games with, or a Packers game with. No, 2, 1. I don't even know. With Joey.
I swear her name was Carm D87 was the YouTube.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember what her stinking
She
name
wasn't
is.
big on YouTube, though, I don't think.
No, I think it was
No.
more against blog.
Cammy was really the Cammy. So Patriots Fangirl 12.
Yep.
I won't say the other one because that'll create controversy.
Alpaca.
But then, yes, that one. So you said it, Jason. I didn't.
Fine.
And then Tasmacan.
Oh my gosh, Tasmacan. That was like one of my first friends too, as well. Holy cow!
Yep. And sadly, she passed away from cancer, which hit us all hard. We lost some good ones in our time too, but
she
we
wrote
didn't
with Beto Mejia. If you
but
remember.
we didn't. There was 4 main females that we had until what was it? Card Collector Chick or whatever the fuck it was that was so fake and phony. Getting a care package and it was like a freaking I don't know, Jackie Robinson or some shit like that, freaking rookie, and made it seem as though you're fake.
I miss
No, that we knew when people go on. You didn't. And again, that's part of the community growing, and A, only enough hours in the day, B, you got to figure out when you're gonna fit what you can in. Now it seems, and again, you do have to do what you do, but it'd be nice to, like, the core members of the actual community conversate, hash shit out, like, hey, we've been on here since what, fucking mid 2020, August 2020, on Tuesday nights. I mean, it's sort of been our thing. So I mean, again,
Pretty
I don't have any problem with anybody else going on at our time, but just if you want to get the community aspect and really pump that home, go a different time, go earlier. If the West Coast, that's what was always good with guys on the East. Okay, they're breaking 7:30 their time, usually 6:30, so 7 o'clock Central Time, they were ready to break because they knew they'd have to somehow compete with like Chad, or if Irvin was doing breaks for Chad that night or whatever it was. You knew once he was getting ready to go on, you were losing people and losing them quick, especially if they were going over there to either A, watch the stuff, or B, they bought in. So that it'd be nice to sort of have that serpentining of like an old TV guide schedule, like, hey, this is when these guys are on. yeah, they might run long a little sometimes, but it's not going to be all the time. Or you have a general time frame that, again, it's not something that's needed to be set in stone. But if everybody talks about the community this time of year, that should be something that is more looked at, so you can bridge those gaps. Okay, this here's like some old schoolers doing this. Here's some of the newer guys doing this. Maybe, hey, let's jump over there, see what they're talking about, and figure it out. Hey, do these guys, do they mesh with our style? Can we stomach them? Can they stomach us? It goes both ways. I mean, if you're always talking positivity, the rainbows, unicorns, and fucking toilet flowers, I'm not going to be really involved. I can't, because there's always negative. There's negativity everywhere. I don't need to dwell on it all the time, but at the same time, you have to accept it, know it, acknowledge it, because that's the problem with a lot of the, I think the newer guys. That's sort of where I, it's tough for me to jump like right in and be like, okay, I'm sub to the people that are either getting nominated for whatever reason, nominate me, which Steve knows I'm not a fan of. That's not what I do this for. I humbly, I'm honored, but it's odd for me to be nominated because I'm such a fucking polarizing guy. And I want to watch a chunk of videos. Will I watch all a video? Like, let's say there's a 20-minute, a 2-hour, a podcast or something, or interview, or I'll go through stuff. I'll say, okay, let's watch the mail day. What are they getting? What if they don't talk about anything I'm interested in? It's tough to sit there and be like, oh, I'll sub to you. Well, you got to get me with something. It can't just be cards all the time. It's got to be a mix. I want to know a little bit about your life. I don't need to know about everything. Hey, I like going to the shooting range. Hey, I like going down to the park and playing chess with the old timers. Hey, I love chicken sandwiches. Check. So it like Scott, he was talking about Pokemon. You want to know about something that people don't sit there and necessarily know about. And it doesn't have to be like behind closed doors shit, and like Steve doesn't show a lot of like the Magic the Gathering, but it's something he's real knowledgeable about.
Not as much as what I used to be.
But again, you still have some knowledge there. It's not just like, hey, what do you know about Magic the Gathering? It's a card game. Oh fuck, I'm subscribing. No, you go on for 10 minutes. It's like, okay, at least I do know something about it. It's not just fucking a fluff piece. So that's it. I
Fluff?
found
What we fluff? Maybe we should do more fluff. Okay, maybe not. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Hypothetically. All right, I'll
releasing
shut up now.
into the air. So that it's been, I've gotten better over the last few years, but I mean, early on when that first wave of the what would it be? Because you guys were in like what, 08? I know Chad was Thundering 24. I'll always go back to like, I was in 06. It's like, I know Chad. I know you're one of the first guys. We know.
Yeah.
Chris, and then like the Foxies, the PDAs, the Elons, BTs, Rob N9s, JBBs, Trudy. And then we sort of came in, and there might have been like Denny, Chris. I don't know where Wilkie was in on that. Maybe a little later, I don't know. But then we were in like the third of the first wave, and then I'd say like, and then like Steve, Purple GT, I think Brad, they were like the last of our first wave. That was like at the end of 2010, early 2011.
And
then
April 5th, 2010 is when I joined.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think my first video was until June or July, maybe August.
Because I think mine was I'm coming up on it. It's like within the week, like February 5th or 4th or something. And then my first video honestly is like the beginning of May. Because again, it was tough. It's not like it is now where fucking cameras are everywhere and cell phone, TikTok shit. I mean, you had to balls up to like actually put yourself out there.
You had to work for it. Either you had to buy a webcam, or you had a digital camera and then you had to upload it or download it from the camera to upload it to. Yeah, it was some work.
So
trying to go back and see when I actually posted my first.
I think I was 2010, sometime 2010 on YouTube, but I was Blog TV like a year before YouTube. I didn't mess around with YouTube. Yeah, it took me a while. Jackie D 23456. He's the one that got me to start making YouTube videos.
Yeah,
Well,
let's see
good.
if this actually says.
we get blessed with some old boxy stuff that is memorable. Listening to you
What's that?
ramble. We get to listen to you ramble on about Bledsoe in the archives.
Oh, well, you know, you were like, you sparked me. You were one of my first like mail days that I sent out. When I found out you were a Drew Bledsoe fan, I sent you pretty much every double insert that I had. There was probably 200 inserts, maybe not that much, maybe more. I don't know, but there was a shitload of Bledsoe cards that I sent you. And I just remember you making this half-hour long video, or maybe it was even a two-parter. And, you know, that was the bee's knees to do that kind of stuff, man. And to see you make a video out of it and enjoy it. And from one Bledsoe fan to another, I mean, that was the start of it for me, Dave. It was actually pretty much that trade. It wasn't even a trade. I think I just sent you shit.
Yeah, and then back then too, if it's not like we had our you were on Facebook, but again, back then it was I'm friends with people from work or family. Now it's everybody. So you knew people's names, you didn't know deep into their hosts and know what they were about, but it's like, hey, private message you on
YouTube.
Yeah.
Back when that was a thing.
Maybe it could have been. I don't even know. It was probably a Blog TV message, I'm sure.
Well, we could do that, the private message or the IM on there when we're watching, but I know till what, 12 or 13. You could like DM, private message, whatever on YouTube, and when they took that away, I remember that was a fucking uproar.
Yeah,
people were pissed.
Yeah, you couldn't find it. There were ways to get it, I think, or ways to find messages, but you had to go here really, and then there, click this and go there.
Yep. So yeah, Bink, I've already answered. I did answer the question. Yeah, there was a lot more football guys. We had a sprinkling of baseball guys, but yeah, it was probably 5-to-1 ratio.
Like 75-25. And I mean, some of the guys that collected football obviously collected baseball. I mean, but it's flipped so fucking heavily. I mean, it's insane how it's baseball and a lot of it's vintage, which again, I don't mind. I don't get super excited about it. If something's in nice condition.
Speaking of Bledsoe.
There you go. Tops 93.
Yep. Tops gold.
Tops gold.
Yep.
So let me tell you one of my favorite, and this goes way back, but
Dave actually sent me that, Jason.
I was a kid. I was set up at flea markets selling sports cards when I was, I don't know, in the 90s sometime. So sports cards wasn't something new to me. It's, you know, as all of us, I mean, we all collected as kids, but I opened so much of this, Dave, I'm sure you know this, but
Pro Set Power.
Yeah, Pro Set Power.
I mean, it was all about this card. It was about Rick Meyer, Natrone Means, maybe Jerome Bettis, but
how many gold parallels did you pull, Jason?
I don't think I have any.
I bet you do.
I probably don't.
The Pro Set Power You have the silver, and then there's the gold foil in the Pro Set Power.
Yeah, well, you know what? You might be right. I might have one, but I don't have one in front of me here, and I don't recall having a gold one.
It's not one of those in which it sticks out like a sore thumb. You
Ah.
actually have to get it in the light just right in order to. Oh, yeah, that's gold. That's not silver. That's gold.
I may have to go back through someday then.
Oh, I remember the good old Pro Set Power days.
But I would sell cards at the flea market, and then I would buy boxes of free Pro Set Power, and just that's what I did. I sell and then buy boxes, rip packs. Good times.
So the degenerate style was early on.
Oh yeah, and it's still with me today, man. Degenerate in one form or another every day of my life. And lately, ever since I gave up sports cards, it's been poker. I've been playing poker very heavily for the past year or so.
Hopefully, winning more than losing.
Poker's okay. It's when I go have a cigarette and spin some slot machines that get me. Gets me every time.
So Scott has a good question though, and I don't know if anything comes to mind from Jason's perspective. I know Dave will have a few in his mind, and I know we've touched on them a few times. But talking about some of the crazy contests that came out of the woodwork at times. Anything ring a bell with you, Jason, specifically from a contest perspective?
I mean, I don't know what kind of contest he's asking about or what, but I mean, for me, there was always just one contest that sticks out in my mind, and it was the 40-ounce smash. I mean, that was a classic thing where, trying to beat other people's times on how fast you could smash a 40, and you did it on camera, whether it was a YouTube video or live on blog TV. But I mean, the 40-ounce smash, and I think the current record holder of that, I don't know his time, but it's Scott Springborg. Can't think of his blog TV name. It's Juice. Yes, thank you. He definitely has a record, but if anybody's ever bored and wants to see a great video of BT, if you haven't seen it already, I have on my channel. It was some national, however many years ago. He did a 40-ounce smash on my YouTube, and it's classic. He did an awesome job, and it's just classic BT. If you ever think about it, go to my YouTube and check it out. It's hilarious, man. It's my favorite video that I've ever done. So yeah, that's my answer.
I remember that too. Yeah, that was an unofficial contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, unofficial for sure, but it was a contest.
Yeah.
I tried. Good old Beijing Thomas. Oh. Yeah, we had a lot more intros back in those days too. Do you realize that?
Intros?
Yes, so everybody had like their own like custom intro to their videos when they, Nick had his, Puff Bear had his, BT had his. Everybody had like their own little.
I can remember GSN. Yo, YouTube, what up? GSN Cards coming back at you once again with another mail day video.
Yep.
I don't know how many times that goes through my mind each week. Like, yo, YouTube, what up? And then after he got through his intro, he just sort of paused. Come on, Nick. Somebody needs to hit the CD player. It's skipping. Come on.
He had so much promise when he first came on, and he did good for a year or two, and then he just disappeared. He was a good guy.
Yeah. School. It all went to school. He every once in a while, and I think it's been a couple years, but I've gotten a random comment from Nick on a video. So it's one of those in which he's still kind of somewhat around ish.
Yeah.
But
That's all.
so it's Nick was we can say Nick was a good kid, because I mean he was in college when all of us were still, in our 30s, and some of us married and children and everything else. But
He ran a good show. He had good breaks, and he was under good.
cheap.
Yeah.
Very reasonable.
Yep.
Yeah, Dave, I'm sure you have a few good memories from the contest response videos.
Like I've said, and again, I don't remember the premise of it, but it's when I did the mule milk one.
Oh. Oh shit! I remember that now, Dave.
The motherfucker was cold as sin outside, and then you do not know. It was probably 20 below, and I've got the jug of the half gallon of milk, and then I'm drinking, and I'm like holding it the whole time barehanded, and I'm like, this fucker is. I am legitimately like, my hand gonna like fucking fall off because it's getting like dark red and starting to change a little purple, and but you want to do something different because again, at the time that was the expectation of like doing these contest response videos. You weren't just like, hey, my best card is right here. I got a great card, and here's another great. No, you have to up your game. It's like, and especially where it was like an NCAA tournament thing. It's like, okay, the random, here's this guy facing this guy. Okay, so you're looking at who you're against. Might have a chance, and then well, that's, I think the first one was a shower video. The second one was the mule milk. So two of my more famous, infamous, unwatchable, should be banned videos. At least the shower one. That one, I tried to watch that the other day, and some of the, I'm like, man, there's a lot of like light behind that curtain. That doesn't. But again, when that came on, people are like, what do we got going on here? This is, and that's sort of where you made your mark. It's like, okay, you can be part of the community, and I didn't do that just to be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking become like the next fucking Abe Lincoln or put me on Mount Rushmore. No, I want to make people laugh when I do those. The again, we had the ALS challenge later on in the YouTube, like what, 2014ish. I think that summer of 2014.
Yeah,
That thing was a monumental failure too. For my part, I mean, I fucking a little math ingenuity that went wrong in my way, but just stuff like that where it made people laugh. The Freedom Cardboard, which the Whoop There It Is video. I mean, that's grainy as fuck, but you can still see bits and pieces. It's like, no, that's what you need to do, and that allowed people to put themselves out there. And we didn't take ourselves so fucking seriously. We didn't have sponsors. We didn't have fucking codes to go to Whatnot or whatever and fucking get 8% off of a used box of fucking tampons and a slightly used dildo. It's no, we fucking did this for fun, to support our friends, to sort of put ourselves out there. For me, I didn't give a shit about prizes. I never cared. It was just another reason to make a stupid video.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, Dave. You see contest videos, you still see them. They're still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're never a bad thing. Some of them get more responses than others. Granted, I haven't watched a ton of contest response videos because, let's face it, I'm still like starting to watch some of these newer individuals and stuff and being subscribed and things along those lines. So it's one of those in which my time is a little, I don't want to say my time is a lot more precious these days, but like you, Dave, it's one of those in which I have to manage my time a little bit in when trying to watch certain things or watch videos because I do get behind. It happens. Like I still have the hour and 8-minute video of yours that you ran on StreamYard for your ComC order that I still need to watch. I still haven't watched it because I know some of the stuff that you got in that order and I want to fucking see it. But to make sure I have an hour and 8 minutes to dedicate to watch, because it's one of those in which I don't want to watch it and stop and go do this. And I just want to sit through it, right? But at least from what I've noticed, and I could be wrong, and for any of you new folks who were still there, please correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of us who did contest responses, we did it to support the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time it was like, don't put me in the thing for prizes. I'm not doing this for the prizes. I don't care about it. Just automatically strip me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you won, guess what? You were going to get something anyways, because that's just the way that we did shit. But the whole thing was, hey, somebody thought of this contest. I thought it was a cool idea. I'm going to freaking do something to support the channel, to support my friend and whatever. It wasn't, not to mention it was to give shit for people to watch.
Yeah.
Because anytime like the videos weren't coming out as frequent, all of a sudden here comes a contest video and boom, it's like it jump-started a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So you had shit to watch, which was, you know, the whole premise of, hey, yeah, I'm doing a video response, doing this for so-and-so, doing this because I want to support them. And plus it's going to give somebody something to watch. And I don't want anything. I want no prizes. Just automatically, you know, take my name out of it. But like I said, that didn't matter. Period. If you won, you were going to get something because everybody who knew everybody could get your address.
Yep. Some way, somehow.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I know Jason interacts with Chad, for instance, and this is just an example. Or, you know, I know Jason's tight with Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have something I need to send to Rob. Hey, Jason, you know, can you hook me up with Rob's address?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now, Jason may have asked Rob, hey, dude, somebody wants your address to send you something. Is it cool? Because that's what you did. You kind of asked permission if it was cool to give somebody your address. Most of us didn't care.
Yep.
But at the same time, it was that mutual respect. Hey, Jason, you know, I really want to send something to Rob. Can you hook me up with his address? Yeah, let me check with him and I'll get back to you.
Yep.
And 99% of the time, boom, here comes the address. So we all could get anybody's address. It didn't matter who it was. Everybody knew everybody to where you could go to a handful of people and boom, you could get an address. So
before I forget, Pete, I agree completely about Gary's dancing video. Another one, bites the dust. Cop pulls up at the end. I remember that one like it was yesterday. That is a classic and maybe one of the best videos out there from our time.
Yeah, and that's the only bad part too. A lot of those guys took their shit down way back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, I deleted all my stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I did most of it actually.
Well, you weren't the only one, Jason.
No,
there was a lot. There was a lot of people who did it. A lot of people.
Yep.
Yes, Glider Man probably is the top. I would agree. Dave, do either one of you have a hockey card to tie over Eric for another hour or so?
Glider Man was good. He had quite some editing skills.
Yeah, one of the few people in those days.
The Ed Bird Show. Does that sound familiar to anybody? The Ed Bird Show?
Oh, yes.
The Glider Man was a was a guest on there and a reporter or something. It's slowly coming back to me.
Some of the shit that was done during our time would probably be frowned against nowadays. We'd all be shunned.
Yeah.
Oh man. But God, they were so fun. We all just had a good time. We all let loose. We didn't give a shit. And that's one of the things that I always talk about Dave and my appreciation of Dave. You love to hate him or hate to love him. Dave is just Dave. And he doesn't shy away from anything. It's him being him. He doesn't sugarcoat shit. He's not playing a character. It's not a shtick. Dave is Dave. So either you like Dave or you don't.
This is true.
It's no different with, whether it be Ed Bird or JBB or Robin 9. Rob was a little dirty-minded, quite dirty-minded in his days. But we all got a good laugh out of it, though, too, So, what was that, Jason?
I said Uncle Willie.
Yep.
You guys got to know Uncle Willie. If you don't know,
Oh, well, yes.
you got to go back. That was actually probably the best series of videos ever was Uncle Willie.
But that's what I'm getting at. It's like it was unedited for the most part, a little risque, not politically correct.
Never.
But we all had fun.
Techno Bailey.
No. Yeah,
Good
Alan
old
loved
Alan.
that one.
Yeah.
So I miss him, but I don't, because let's face it, back in the day, we dealt with our own freaking controversy. We had a shit ton of drama in our days, man.
I thought we were talking about Techno Bailey for a minute.
Well,
but I don't.
I mean, he was brought up.
He was fun. A lot of good times with Alan. He was fun. Him and his Kremsky collection, right?
He was a Boston guy. Yeah. Paul's asking what was his nickname when he wore the wig on Blog TV.
What was Foxy? What was my nickname when I'm sorry, my fucking eyes are shut when I wore the wig on Blog TV. Man, Paul, fuck. I don't know that I remember this.
I know I don't.
Man, I can't recall. I can't fucking recall.
I can remember the wig, but
That'd
I don't.
Or Paula. I don't know. I don't fucking remember that. I thought I remembered it all.
There you go.
What was that, Chris Gaines? I don't fucking know. Did we call you Chris Gaines? Is that what it was? I don't remember that. Fuck my life. FML.
And that's where I've said at work to some of the people, like, oh, remember this story, remember this story. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, we need to start going through and writing shit down. Even at like a national, and have like a fucking, like a round table where it's not later in the evening, where we still have some ability to like remember, recall, and like write shit down. Just because I think that'd be a fucking great idea for some sort of book, like just a blog TV book. I know we don't have pictures because that was the shitty part about blog when it fucking went away. It's like you had.
Oh, we could get pictures. We could get some pictures in there.
Oh, we could. I know that, but I mean, I want to. If everything, if we get everything in there, that'd be great. But
there'd only be like 40 or 50 people that would buy that book, though.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
That is okay. You're right.
Because every time those folks would go through it, they'd be like, "That was a fucking fun time. That
Yep.
was fucking fun."
Yep.
That's where you didn't have to sit there. You didn't have to worry about the grade of a card. You didn't have to fucking worry about, oh, is this person like this card, or am I gonna get enough views? Is my sponsor gonna fucking unsponsor me because I don't have enough likes on the video? The length of the time of the video, it's too short. No, it was just fucking fun. You paid your bills. If you had card money, you had card money. If you didn't, you could still participate and have fun. You could show off all the shit you had because fuck, it was basically brand new. Whenever people got on there, it's like, it's my first time showing this stuff. So, it just was a nice. You hate to always refer to the good old days or the simpler times or any of that shit, but it was. You didn't have to fucking worry about ads and everything else infiltrating the community. And if you infiltrated it with scamming and fucking chicanery and nonsense, you were fucking, as Steve said many times, you were run the fuck out quick.
Right.
People fucking found out and you were in the firing squad. You're done.
Yep.
It just, and that's where I was hoping to get a couple of new guys on here too to just sort of bridge that gap. That's what it is. It doesn't mean, as Steve said, we look fondly upon this because it was fucking our heyday, as it is with a lot of the guys from like 2016, 2018, 2020. This is their heyday.
Yep.
So they get to fucking revel in the glories of Mojo breaks or Mojo autographs and fucking Santiago Sports and Sports Card Investor and Sports Card Dad and all these fucking wonderful channels that just take a shit on each other but still keep on playing. It's like, no.
I know you like rip on those guys a lot, but do you watch their videos? Like, are you subscribed? Do you watch them at all?
Benny?
No? Say
Vinny,
something, Vinny.
Someone has to do the recon work for the show.
So I actually watch them. I can't say I enjoy it, but maybe I do enjoy it. I know, and I know it's all bullshit, and I don't buy into any of it. Watch it for, I don't know, just to see what's happening, and it's something to watch because nobody really makes YouTube videos anymore that I'm subscribed to, and that's who I watch. So I watch Mojo and Card Collector and Santiago, but I don't watch them because I enjoy watching them. I just watch it to stay. And I know they're all dick riders, and dick riders is a fun word that was originated back in the blog TV days, but I still use it frequently. I love that word. I don't know.
Our favorite word these days, Jason, is snatch cunt.
Snatch cunt?
Yeah.
It's got a good sound to it, yeah. But I tell you who I do really enjoy, and you guys probably do, Sports Card Radio or Sport Card Radio.
Yep, we all watch them.
Oh, those guys! That guy is fucking on point. I love that guy. Good shit there.
Yeah,
we have a rare Bobby sighting.
Yeah,
it's been a while. Good to see you, Bobby. Good to see you.
What's up, Bobby?
Bobby's the resident hockey historian, and that's no bullshit. That's not.
You got a few
just
around here.
He's written books.
Yeah,
that's no bullshit.
Is that why Denny's here in case hockey people come in, or I haven't figured Denny out yet?
Who?
Denny?
Vinny? Vinny's a hockey guy. Yeah, Vinny's a hockey guy.
So he's just here on standby in case somebody's got hockey questions or what?
Yeah, it's like break the glass and then I just come out and answer.
All right.
No, usually Vinny's a lot more active, but it's one of those in which
Vinny, I was calling him Benny. I'm sorry, Vinny.
Yeah. He's
I've been called worst.
I fucking shit, man. I everything's a blur. And Vinny sounds like me. My ears are shut. I'm getting old.
Yeah, it happens, Jason, unfortunately. But no, Vinny normally does talk a lot more. But since we're relishing in the good old days, it's hard for him to chime in when he's been a collector for as long as we have. But from a YouTube StreamYard
Yeah,
perspective, he's relatively new to the whole space.
that's why I was saying he probably just hates to hear you guys and me just go on and on about the good old days.
Quite the contrary. I wish I was there.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, it was something. I wish
He would have fit in with all of us.
I believe
So
believe it.
Vinny's good peeps, man. Vinny's good peeps.
I'm sure he is. Not with you guys, I'm sure he is.
That's the only reason why he's allowed to be here, because he's a good dude.
That makes sense.
No, that's not the whole reason, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. I got to know Vinny through Dave, which Dave is the whole brains behind creating the IRP, and because of Dave, I've actually expanded my purview and realm of people though too. So
sure.
The show has done what it was expected to do and then some. Not just for us here, but for others, even the people who show up and comment and hang out or watch it in the archives. They've formed friendships with each other through the same way. So
I get it.
Which
yes,
is one of the things starting this, because yeah, we wanted to talk cards and give our hashtag knowledge and hashtag scholarship, but at the same time, it isn't what it used to be or will ever be that way again. But we wanted to sort of, again, like go to Zepho, you go fishing on the shoreline, you want to hook somebody, even if they're not in all the way. You're like, okay, they're going to be watching. At least they know of us. Some of the old guard that I know you watched before. Dazzler's been on here on the show and in the comments before. Sicknifer's been on here. I try to get some of those old guys. Believe me, it is fucking not easy to try to convince them to, hey, come on here. People will listen to you because it's a different perspective. You may still be in the hobby, but you're not on YouTube. Or you're not doing as much on YouTube. You still can watch this shit on YouTube and still have a fucking valid opinion. You can have a valid opinion even if you're not watching the shit on YouTube, because you were on here. This isn't like somebody that's never done any of this and comes on here and says, well, YouTube sucks. Well, what fucking validity do you bring to the table? Well, I watched this shit. It's grainy. It's like 144, and you can't even tell what these people look like. It looks like a fucking blob, and that's most of the people back then look like a blob coming out and talking. So don't worry about it.
And then there's Eric gonna sit there and freaking backtrack what I said about making friends with people. You're full of shit, Eric.
That's the wrong chew, Eric. That's the wrong chew before someday.
Yes, Eric is friends with the like button. We've
Yes.
garnered a few for you so far this evening, Carlos.
Yep.
So
As soon as we saw him comment, it was make sure to destroy that like button and fucking do it non-barbaric.
yep. Make sure you get your percentage there, Carlos.
Mhm.
Because we're all about the community. How'd you like that one, Dave?
Appreciation. Yeah, the Barry Horowitz, the pat on the back.
Dave, you remember the old Amish throwing up Amish X's?
I'm trying to think when I did that in one of the videos too. I was just like, throw it up, Foxy.
I appreciate it, man. That's
anytime I see somebody do that sports wise, I'm like, it's Foxy.
No
videos going, and I'm just.
I don't know how that ever became a thing, but it was fun for a little.
Community participation. That's what it was.
Yeah, the little things, you know.
It's the community nuances that only we know. The hashtags, alleged kidney harvesting.
Harvesting.
Yeah.
It's, people just look at you like, what the hell is he talking about?
I'm sure.
But it's our nomenclature.
Yeah, it's
If you don't like it, piss off.
There's your answer, Eric. I know that's not why he said it, but perfect opportunity. Perfect opportunity. I couldn't pass that up. Well played, Vinny. Well played.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
Carlos, I think you're the originator of the hashtag alleged harvesting of kidneys. I think I can go back and find that.
I probably could.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty sure we could go back and find that. We'll hit some people with some hashtag scholarship of going back and researching. Oh man.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm gonna leave you to let you finish off your show. Dave, I was honored again to have you ask me to be on the show. Really enjoyed it. Really nice to, I don't know, maybe be seen again. I don't know, or make a YouTube appearance again. It's been a long time.
You're welcome anytime, Jason. You're
Nice
welcome
chatting
anytime.
with you guys. I appreciate that, Steve. I'll be viewing, and I hope to be back on again sometime and reminisce some more.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
So-
sounds like a plan.
Anytime you guys want to relive the blog days, I will be happy to co-host or whatever you call this. Do some blog TV trivia someday. Let me know. LMK.
Oh,
ILU.
yep.
All right, love you guys.
All right. Take it easy, Jason.
Take care, Jason.
So Eric will be pissing off now.
That's all right.
Here, Eric. Here, Eric.
Oh, you're what? You're gonna be nice now, Benny? Why? Nobody can see that. It's obviously numbered.
1 of 50.
Okay. Yeah, I was being lazy. I didn't feel like zooming in. Sorry.
So
The purple.
it's purple.
It's good to see you as always, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. At some point, your Dazzler, we're get you back on and
Thanks again for the vote, by the way. Suck it up, Buttercup. Just suck it up. Appreciate it. Appreciate the fact that people still think about you, man. And that's the way I take it. Yes, it is humbling. I get it. You like to be the guy in the background. I get it.
not even the background. I want to be behind the fucking curtain, which is again, you look at me and you look at the body of work I've put out there, and you're like, no, this is a lie. I don't.
How's it a lie? It's out there for everybody to see.
I know, but I mean, people think he loves to be the center of attention. He loves.
No.
I love doing stupid shit to fucking make people laugh. I love that. If it's
Okay.
content,
Okay, so wait a minute. There is nobody out there. There is nobody out there that would think you want to be the center of attention. Nobody. If they do, then they need to get the fuck out. Because then they don't know you. Dave, always do you, man. That's why people appreciate you and are willing to nominate you for the Hall of Fame, is because you're no bullshit. And let's face it, for us old school guys, it's not about editing and the freaking slick freaking intro stuff that a lot of these guys had. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm not knocking it. I think some of it's pretty fucking cool. But when we did it outside of a few small handful of people, push record, hey fuckers, I'm going to show some cards. And then we started showing cards. That's just, and let's face it, there are some of the newer guys that do the same thing that we do or did. They either watched the old guard, the old school guys, and they were like, okay, yeah, this is pretty easy. And they maintained it. Others took a step up, couple steps up. Quality is good. It's, you know, intro stuff is good. It's not for everybody. I'm a plain Jane kind of guy. Dave, you're a plain Jane kind of guy. Vinny, you're a plain Jane kind of guy. That doesn't mean, watch. Vinny's going to come to the mix once he makes his next video by December, I guess. He's going to freaking blow everybody away. He's going to freaking have some badass freaking shit. And everybody's going to be like, well, why the fuck didn't I think of that?
Nope.
TikTok, Snapchat filters, fucking
Rocket dancers in the background.
He's going to be the next sports card investor.
dealer.
Curse you. As my daughter would say, curse you. Curse you.
Not the person, not the type of videos, or Dave's favorite word, not the type of content, of the editing nature. The
Oh, what
clean,
his team
crisp-
does. I got you. What his team does.
Yes.
And it to go back, it was Henry or Rocket Richard that he murdered. Going back to last week's episode, Henry and Henri Richard. Not Richard, Richard.
Did I miss something?
Don't you take notes?
Do I look like a person who takes fucking notes?
I guess that's what I'm here for then.
Since when have you ever seen me write anything down or sit there and be like, yeah, I got my fucking list of shit? Have you ever seen that? Yes, that's that. Much love, my friend, but no.
I'm just busting your stones, dude.
No, really? You are? I didn't know that. Dave, stop with your fake writing bullshit, though.
Seriously, what we really need to do is finally, as it gets closer to that July time of year, we need to figure out who's all going to national, so we have a accurate list of people that we want to meet and greet, because that's more important than all the other crap.
Well, and I know we talk about it, and you know, we're all in agreement. That's the main focal point. I'd be interested to see what some of the after hour stuff is going to be, because that's typically where you're going to run into and meet most of them. Have a few alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages, depending on your choice. Since we do have to drive, I should say, since I have to drive, I won't be engrossing myself in too many alcoholic beverages until we get back. Then that's a different story. As long as the fridge or fridges, since we have 2 rooms, is full of Yingling, I'm good. I'm good.
And I'll bring some of the, because it's through Wisconsin, so I'll bring some of that spotted cow you've seen Scott drink on his and Scotty's channel there, and I know that's a popular one too, so you can try some of that, because that's, again, not like Yingling. It's sort of pushed out and branched out, and now it's here, and here. I believe spotted cow is going to remain in Wisconsin, and that's it.
Could
So,
be. Will you answer Eric's question? He's asked it twice, and I failed to.
I got your message. I haven't looked at it because I haven't been on Instagram, but I saw it come through, and I will look at it after the show.
Yeah,
'Cause
he had asked earlier.
Even before I tapped it, and I know Eric's been probably checked into the boards or fallen off the bike or run over by a moped or a hover round or something, but yeah. I know I got to read it still, but I did get it.
Yes, all about the beer. I have to ask, who did you ask from the new school side to join us this evening that stood us up?
And again, there's a lot that were like last minute. I don't think he's
what last minute. You do something last minute, Dave? No.
And it was trying to find, like we said, you don't have a PM DM button on YouTube, which would fucking serve wonders in these situations. I wanted to, and again, people may think, oh, it's like Jason a few years ago when he was doing all the lives and trying to get people on there and all that stuff, which again, I have no problem with. It wasn't like a shock or surprise. I just want to try to bridge that gap. I don't give a shit. I've said it before. If I get in, if I don't get in, this is not about the Hall of Fame. The appreciation's there. I've said that. I'm humble. I'm honored. I just want, like last week, Steve really and Vinny haven't really had any conversations with Snoop. Nothing probably with Mike, Hitman 23. So again, I've been watching their shit for years, and it's not Snoop and I will talk once in a great while. I'll shoot him over a message if I see a video of him and go, okay. Start chatting a little bit about it, and then just sort of peters out. Mike, I don't think I've got one thing I've got to send to him still. I think his kid, and again, this is on me for being slow as fuck. I picked up a Jericho AEW figure, but the top was like fucking busted, where you hang it on the peg. So I figured send it to him, and I still haven't, and that's on me. I got to get his address. But I sent one like last minute to that Lou Rock, to Lou, because I found him through Messenger. Trying to think who else I sent to, because I mean there's a fucking ton. And for me, new school is sort of in the Bob Lewis range, where we haven't really connected in that last 4 years, 5 years. At like the first Hall of Fame thing, that's when I found Bob. That's when I found Mark. That's when I found Scotty Tradition. So in my mind, that's what it is. So I who else? Andy was busy. She blinded me with refractors. Tried to get a couple other old school guys on there, and fuck it, I'm gonna have to call. And one of them was like busy with their pizza shop, and the other one never fucking wants to come on because nobody wants to listen to him. And I said, you're a fucking cunt. So shut up, get on here. You don't have to stay the whole time. I always preface that immediately. You don't come on for a half hour, get the lay of the land, a feel of like just being on, and
shoot the shit a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not like we get to do this all the time. It's 2 days once in a great while if everything lines up for like a Saturday night or a Sunday night BS session. That's it. It's not like we sit here fucking every night and do this and we're talking on the phone all the time. It's something just to get back in and, hey, how's it going? What's new on your end? What's new on your end? Fuck, I haven't talked to you and I haven't seen you in 5 years.
Forever and a day. Yep. Well, and for the record, yeah, although the blog days were great and fantastic, it also almost ruined my marriage. Spent way too much time doing YouTube and blog TV. Like, yeah, almost every night. It was, I don't want to say it was an obsession, but it was one of those in which I spent a lot of time with the crew, so to speak, and not as much time with my family as I should have.
That was the
you know. But it's one of those in which, in every relationship, boils down to communication. When your wife comes and sits on your lap and basically says, hey, you kind of take a step back. So I took a step back. I wasn't on near as much. I was a little bit more selective. But it's one of those in which, that I didn't go out a whole lot. We were fucking broke all the time. And it had nothing to do with me buying cards either, but we were broke all the time. So we didn't go out a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And hanging out with, friends and talking, BS and watching somebody open cards, or if it was a break or whatever, it was my way of interacting with people. So that was my going out, so to speak. But between, blog TV and YouTube and commenting all the time and responding to comments, and then I did the box breaks for, however many months, 2 nights a week.
Yep. And those lasted a good, you were starting sometimes 6:37.
Mm-hmm.
So that one last, like, oh, it's like an hour and a half, we're done. It's like, no, past 9:30, past 10, it's past 10:30. It's like, holy Christ. Like, well, I want to see this, Steve, but I've got to get up in the morning.
Yep. And then, of course, spending, all day Sunday, literally all day, 8 hours plus, packaging shit.
Mm-hmm.
It just, my wife had a valid point. So we've been together for so long, it's a little bit different. Tuesday nights are known as podcast night. It's my one night a week where, this is my time to be with my friends. And it's just been a thing. So outside of that, I still watch videos, but I do it sporadically throughout the day. And that's also the reason why I don't comment on a lot of stuff either.
Mm-hmm.
Is because it was like Jason had alluded to. Somebody made a comment on your video, you made sure you responded.
Yep.
And, early on, not everybody always commented, but, depending on what the video was or who you got a care package from or whatever, sometimes would dictate the number of comments that you would get. And some videos could get, 16, 18, 20, 25 comments. Mm-hmm. And then you're responding to every one. So, I mean, that's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, if it's somebody that simply coming to like, hey, man, that's an awesome card. Can you tell me more about whatever? Then you actually be like, okay, I'm going to give some knowledge, but you don't want to every time, wow, man, great package. That's an awesome gesture. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yep.
You want to try to vary it up a little bit because, again,
well, you made sure you made sure that you commented on as many videos as you could.
Yep.
You didn't want it to always be the stuff, great pickups or, awesome mail day or so-and-so really hooked you up. The over generalized responses, not that I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but like from my perspective, where I'm standing or where I'm sitting, depending on the situation, of course, I tried to pick out certain things because I wanted them to know I watched the video. Pick something from the beginning and something close to the end and focus on those specific things and call those out specifically. at least that would show and indicate that you watched the video. What's going on, Paul? Hopefully you're staying warm. But it got hard. It got extremely hard. And I've watched a shit ton of freaking nomination videos this year. A shit ton. I've commented on those that I've come across in which have mentioned the IRP or myself outside of Joey and Dave and Carlos's video. I talk to you guys.
Mhm.
You know I appreciate it. But it's one of those that it just, which is why I always say I still watch a lot. One of those thumbs up is going to be from me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not always going to comment. I'm not. I don't want to get in the habit of being that guy about, hey, great mail day, nice ads, awesome cards. And, not that it takes a whole lot of time. And, I don't want it to seem as though like I ain't got time for that shit. Like what's his face's video that he posted. I ain't got time for that shit. My videos get, 20, 30 views, maybe a handful of comments. I ain't got time for that shit to respond to all of them. All in good jest, all in good fun. I laughed, which, is always good. But I don't want it to come across that, I don't give a shit. Or I ain't got time for that shit. It just, I'll watch it and
comment on during the show. He needs to leave a comment or talk during the show, so we know who the heck he is.
Who's this?
Everybody else, the dude from the video. I can't think of his name. There we go.
But
And
yeah,
that was
it's go ahead, Dave. No, go ahead.
That was the one I think I found 2 years ago. 2 or 3. Because of not Carlos. He had the voting, and I was like, okay, this film not yet rated. Birdcat. And he started mentioning the old guys. I'm like, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah.
And he's a football guy.
I'm like, what, how have you not fucking? We just bumped into each other somewhere. Yep. So I'm like, subscribe, right? I didn't even think about it because I'm like, if you're watching these guys, not saying that anybody else is any different, but again, when you're watching the guys people watched, it's like if you watch Dynasty, you probably didn't think fucking Melrose Place was great, or you didn't like the OC or whatever iteration of some soap opera that came out 10 years after the fact. You're gonna stick with the guys, even if the new fancy graphics, the cool dick sucking pictures on the placeholder, an intro, and then you get into the 144p resolution for your video. What's that say? Go take your fucking
tabulated. My ballot has been recorded.
There you go. You're official. You get your sticker now.
Yeah,
my participation trophy.
Yeah,
that's what Jake should do at the fucking nationals. Go up to everybody that voted and just put a vote sticker. I voted on your fucking shirt.
I tell you
what, Eric. Sometimes
I have to give, and I know this is probably going to make Dave cringe.
Nope, I don't. I know where you're going. Exactly where you're going.
The amount of videos that Mike and now Jake have had to watch because of this is a lot. That is a big fucking undertaking. And, last year's ballot for me was 2 minutes. It was, quick.
Yeah.
And my ballot changed this year compared to what it did last year. And, you know, this year was more focused on people I've interacted with or my friends, which, let's face it, that's what a lot of some of this is. Which goes into the same sense of a popularity contest or the good old boys club, depending on how you want to look at it. But not that there are other people out there that I couldn't have voted, you know, I could have voted for. Micah is definitely one of them. I voted for Michael Shane last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those in which Michael doesn't know me from Joe Blow. I've never interacted with him. The only reason why I know about him is because of his friendship with Michael, this film not yet rated. But it's not that I don't want to interact with some of these people. Like, I know who Micah is. I've known Micah technically for years, but I've never interacted with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't think he's deserving. It's one of those in which I'm trying to focus on those in which I enjoy always watching. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's not that I don't enjoy watching Micah's videos or Michael's video or Michael Shane's videos. Jericho 941 IMI. And people struggle with that guy's name, his YouTube handle. I noticed that so much. It's like,
Poor Snoop.
guys, it's like, guys, what are you doing? Jericho IMI 99 and he got it backwards. Yes, Ghost. You had something to offer, Ghost?
He also
No, he does not.
He also hates the flipping, the flopping, the struggling with Michael Shane's username.
Oh, wait a minute. Bob actually did post his ballot video?
It's a struggle.
A struggle. Really?
And that's what I'll leave it at that, because it
was he
I saw
riding the struggle bus?
that was it. Huh?
Was he riding the struggle bus?
No, he wasn't riding the struggle bus. The way it was formatted and delivered is a struggle for your eyes.
Oh,
It's fucking. It's almost like watching a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match at Royal Rumble with Bray Wyatt, LA Knight.
well, since I didn't watch it, I only heard stuff about it.
This is true, Paul. You're not
Now,
lying.
Paul, that's not very nice. Bob is not here to defend himself.
Yet. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised when I jumped on here to see Vinny already waiting, because normally Vinny always is waiting when I even get here. But I was sitting there thinking, I was like, did Dave even send out the freaking link? And then I had to go. I scrolled back through the group message or what. I was like, oh, yep, okay, there it is. If
That's
you
right.
figure it out,
It is.
I guess I'll have to give it a watch, and I'll brace myself.
Thankfully, it's just a couple minutes long, and that's about 2 minutes too long.
Yeah, well, Bob always tries to do something different, so
Yes, and that's part of the fun of this, where I will poke fun. That pretty will be some sort of persona, not to have spoiler alerts, but it will be every year more outrageously egregious what I do, because you hear the same stuff every time. And I told Naomi when she was over last week, we were watching the videos, I said, what do you want to bet somebody says A in no particular order and then B without further ado? And she's like, what? And I'm like, I just turned it up, and like, I hadn't even watched some of the videos, and they said it, and she's like, why do they keep saying that? I'm like, it so people don't get upset. It's not a number one nominee. It's like, hey, I'm all right. These are the guys I'm voting for. These are the channels, and then just go into it. Not without any further ado. It's not like motion picture of the year. bottom nominees. You go through the clips, the clapping and the cast and the director, and then you go through a commercial break, and it's like, without any further ado, the winner is Debbie Does Dallas.
Hey man, that's a classic.
If we're talking about classics, we're going to talk about the classics. We're going to talk about the bangers.
The old school.
Definitely an old school banger there.
Yes, it is.
The one qualm I have was sort of this duration of.
Oh, I thought we were going to go into detail about Debbie Does Dallas.
Those
What did I miss?
Those fluffers didn't do enough.
You don't want to know.
And it might just be me. I know the content thing bothers a lot of people like it does me. This was something Jason touched on it too, where it's like you knew the channel, who was on the channel. You know that's Mike. Again, now there's 8 million Mikes in the fucking community. So you could, the way I say it opposed to other people saying this is sort of I don't know, it sort of needles me and it gets me like, God, it just sounds dumb. It's not like, Steve over there at the Broncos 79. No. Steve is the Broncos 79. Josh over there at Rated Rookie. No. Josh, comma, Rated Rookie, comma, continue on. Carlos at because I'm no. You don't need to say Jake over at the Ticket Leprechaun, over at Legends Never Die.
Because I am Carlos.
Somebody said it the wrong way. I don't know who that was, but I don't know why that bothers me so much. Unless you're a conglomeration. If you say Dave, Steve, and Vinny, the insert over there at the Insert Revolution podcast, or you say Ty and Mike and whoever else they got over at Bench Clear, or Eric, Nate over at the Baseball Junkies, part of that. But it just
Or Carlos and Bougie Eric now.
Yeah. Or he's got to have some sort of. He's gonna have like a Cardi B or a Nicki Minaj like walkout song. You do, Rick. You do. You need. Preferably with the hole in the bottom of the popcorn. That's what we call in the business #easy access. So
That would be the Pee Wee Herman version of a viewing.
is that butter on my popcorn? Just like 3 licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop, the world may never know.
We just went all kinds of sideways.
No, not at all.
No, but this is a new sideways for even us.
Well, we always say dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Stooks, yes. We could all use some warmth here.
Oh, I'm waiting.
I know it's nowhere near anything up north.
And
we talk about this.
Your world is rocked with the ice, and I'm on the video right now, or on the TV. I'm watching the Storm Media, like a 5-hour stream of today. Just a guy driving through like Memphis, where it was like icy there, and I showed you before the clip, and I'm like, oh, Denton, I'm like,
yeah, but
in close proximity.
But what's sad about that, Dave? That shit probably was filmed in the morning.
Oh yeah.
So we had freezing rain overnight,
Mm-hmm.
going into Monday morning. For the most part, excuse me. I pulled a Dave. It was smooth sailing. I had a doctor's appointment Monday morning. I was going for blood work. I get halfway there, and from the doctor's office calls, yeah, our lab is closed, so we need to reschedule. Could you not have called me like 30 minutes ago? I've been on the road for 45 minutes. Not because of bad weather, shitty traffic where I live, but, you know, and then, of course, the shit hit the fan yesterday. Of course, Bob was poking fun. The joys, yes, for those who may or may not know, there is such a thing as called thunder sleet.
Okay.
Basically, it is a thunderstorm, but it is dropping sleet. And we had 2 rounds of like major freaking downpours of sleet. And if we get snow, it's not that big of a deal. Snow, snow's a lot easier to drive in. But we got about 1/4 of an inch, almost half an inch of accumulation of sleet. And, you know, anytime that happens here in North Texas, the fucking whole city shuts down, which is fine too. But what's interesting is we were supposed to have shit on and off today. We got a little bit of sleet here. Now, I'm only speaking for where I live. Yes, I know, Mike. I know. But I will say a couple of years ago, we were colder than Minnesota. We were colder than Michigan. We had, oh no. At the time, we were colder and had more shit on the ground. Go back and look at the text messages. Mr. Shake Your Head at Me. Y'all were like in the 40s or 50s, and we're freaking in single digits with negative wind chills and 8 inches of snow on the fucking ground.
Yeah, I know it was messed up. I remember
It's like,
vividly. Because all you
it's like,
did was
no, it's like, what the hell? I'm going, it's like, did something happen? You know, I'm pretty sure I live in Texas. I'm pretty sure last I checked, I don't live in Michigan or Minnesota or up there in Canada, wherever Mike actually lives. My boss lives somewhere in Ontario, and she always talks about freaking the snow and the shit all the time. Yes, it did. We had actually had blackouts at that point in time. We had snow on the ground for the entire week.
I remember that. That was
It was
struggle busing. Huge.
It was crazy. And we were at least lucky enough, fire stations right outside the subdivision. We never lost power. But my sister had to deal with blackouts. The other south side of the subdivision was dealing with blackouts. It was crazy and fucking cold. So something I don't care to experience again. Snow, fun. I like snow. I enjoy the snow. Sleet and freezing rain and ice, it's for the fucking birds. You can kiss my ass. Not to mention, you still have people who are morons who decide that, oh, I'm going to get home. There's sleet on the ground. I'm going to try and drive my truck and get into the driveway. Are you a fucking idiot? No offense to anybody, but it's like, come on. It's not snow. It's ice. Where exactly are you at, Stu, by the way?
Thursday night, 40 below here without the wind chill. So that'll be fun Friday morning. I'm going to call tomorrow, and I'm hoping the remedy for the problem is the battery for the car. That
I hope so for your sake.
But I clean out the back seat because on a 98 through 05 with Sabre, that is where the battery is located. Because hashtag genius. So yeah, I'm hoping that's all it is, because I tried last night and it was just like the. I'm like, God, don't be the fucking alternator. Don't you fucking be the alternator. You
Right. Sorry, I had at least had to pose the question to find out exactly where Stuke is, because I know is it Beansball Card Blog?
Ken.
If that's his name, then sure.
Yes.
He's kind of close to me, I think.
Somewhere
And
there.
I know Dave from
Midlife.
Dave's Midlife Card Crisis is near. I think he's actually near Allen.
No, Allen's near Memphis.
No, near Allen, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Which is where the Dallas Card Show is usually held these days, is in Allen.
Need another YouTuber down there too, I think.
We won't go there. He's further south, I believe.
Mexico?
No. Okay. Yep. So you're near Sherman Denison. I know the area. I'm guessing off of 75. Now we're talking like
Geography.
it's ice and sleet. So we had freezing rain first, Bobby, which gives you the first initial layer of ice, and then you had the sleet that goes on top of it. Mixed in with a little bit more freezing rain and a little bit of snow. Yeah, it's we got the whole gambit. Okay, so you're actually not too. I mean, you're actually not too far from me. Guessing you've been to the Dallas Card Show. If you have, let me know. Maybe we can meet up next time it's here. As I've always said, I don't want to go to a card show just to go to a card show. I'd rather meet up with somebody, and then go to the card show together. Because been to two. Three. Yeah, three. Three in my whole life. So, but anyways, enough weather talk. I do know we're supposed to get more shit tomorrow. At least it's in the forecast. So, nice thing about it is if Walgreens opens up even in the later in the day, I can at least walk my ass to go get cigarettes if I need them. Oh, you're here for? Oh, okay. You're here for the winter from Minnesota, and you're getting winter weather. Sorry. I couldn't help but laugh. That's like my neighbors across the street. They went to Arizona one year for the winter, and it was the one year that we didn't really get super cold. Now it's been a few years, but they were fucking freezing their ass off in Arizona, and we're dealing with like 50 or upper 50s, 60-degree weather. Couldn't help but laugh. The difference is, Bobby, let me explain something to you. Up there in Canada, you guys actually require shit during winter weather, like winter tires. Now, whether or not you abide by said rules up in Canada, that's a different story. Here in the South, there's no such things as chains or winter tires. We rely on the highway people for the state to actually freaking do something about the fucking roads. And 99% of the time, they fail to do that efficiently. And they only focus on the highway, the highways and the overpasses. So any of your side streets or anything else, you're screwed. So just
And I
throw that like to throw that into context.
And I remember when we talked about that blackout shit that again, because I'm like, well, explain it to me because I need some Steve explaining. Because again, I'm not in Texas. I've never been there. What it's like up here, and again, getting specifics, it's like how deep are your water lines? Up in Minnesota, it's usually 6 to 8 feet deep because you got the fucking frost line. You can't dig them a foot deep, expect them to go in and be kosher because it's gonna fucking freeze within the first night of your coldest night. And then for like furnaces, it's like, you guys even have furnaces? I mean, it's fucking always warm down there, comparatively speaking. So it's not like, oh, I got a furnace on or I got a radiator and all that other shit. So I'm guessing it's a lot of electric heaters.
Well, here well, at least in my house, our heater is gas. So we have a gas heater. So it's nice and toasty inside. It's not like I'm freezing my ass off. And of course we have AC, but it's one of those in which, like I said, dealing with snow, dealing with cold weather, that type of stuff, it doesn't really bother me. The wind chill is the stuff that drives me nuts. And, if it's a few degrees, it's not that big of a deal. But when you start getting, 12, 15, 20 degrees colder because of the wind, that gets brutal. Especially, and I know you're speaking from, you deal with it from an experience perspective, especially, what was it, yesterday, today?
Yesterday.
Whatever. So it's it's one of those in which we don't get a shit ton of cold weather.
No.
That snowstorm a couple of years ago, I mean, that was fucking brutal. We set records for lows. I think one day the high was -1 Fahrenheit, which that is unheard of in North Texas. Wind chills, in the negative teens. And of course, you have 8 inches of snow on the ground, which doesn't help. And 8 inches of snow isn't a lot. But when you have the wind blowing, I mean, you have freaking buildup of snow in certain places. So I felt like I was in Buffalo seeing, 1.5 foot of snow, 2 feet of snow piled up in certain places because of the wind. But, in those situations, like I said, the city shuts down. Like everything is freaking closed. And it for good cause, because people here in Texas don't know how to drive in the shit. So I refuse to get on the road, especially when it's like this. Because we stayed below freezing all day, although some of it, you can see some of it starting to melt a little bit, but because we're supposed to be like 22 degrees tonight, I think, it's going to be nothing but a solid sheet of ice because the shit's going to refreeze.
What do you, and then again, different areas. So it's, for me, it's just like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But again, Texas doesn't fucking see this shit more than a couple times a winter, maybe 3. A, what do you guys treat your roads with? And B, why up here we got salt?
Well,
Yeah.
so it
And I know-
depends, Dave. It depends. Depends on what municipality you actually live in. Dictates technically what the trucks will throw down. We have sand trucks, which
I saw
is
that
a sand salt mixture.
Yep.
And then they also have some that are they call them brine trucks. And
Yep.
it's a salt something liquid form that they spray on the roads that's supposed to prevent
Yep.
shit from sticking. But guess what? On overpasses,
Yeah.
the shit still sticks. So we are still very ill prepared for this type of weather. And I mean, I work from home. I don't have to go anywhere. But years ago, when I actually worked in like the retail world, or my old job or whatever, the owner of the company was from Michigan, and the slogan was "Hail, snow, what was it? Rain, hail, snow, or sleet. Telecorp will always meet." Well, she was from Michigan, and she lived like 2 miles from the office, so of course she could get her ass to work. Others, not so much. And like I said, it's not that I'm worried about how I drive. It's other people who don't know how to drive in it. Driving in snow is completely different than driving in ice and sleet. Completely different. And people automatically think you can drive on it the same way. So. No, and Paul, you're kind of right. There is not everybody who lives in an area that has snow knows how to drive in it, but I would venture to say that a lot more people who are used to it do better in it than what those in other places that are not used to it could drive. Because I've seen people who have, New Jersey or New York or Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota plates driving with sleet and shit on the ground, and they'll fly by me. Now, mind you, this was years ago. And a few miles up the road, I'm waving to them as I drive by because they're in the fucking ditch. So I get it. They don't all know how to drive in it. But there is a difference between driving in snow than in ice and sleet. So. Rick must live in California or something.
Some super nice warm state.
Or Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday morning it was cold.
Oh, no, that ice storm in 24, I remember that. That was crazy. Because it was, I think almost close to 24 hours of freezing rain. And there pictures and videos of some of the car wrecks, like 100-something car pileups and crap. That thing was bad. And it's been, my youngest was still in elementary school. And I don't remember the year, but we had, I think, 3 days of on and off freezing rain and sleet. And because the temperatures got so low at night, they called it cobblestone ice. So it got warm enough during the day to just start to melt everything. But then because it got so cold at night, it froze solid. So the kids missed an entire week of school. A whole week of school. Because you weren't driving. You weren't going anywhere. And that shit was thick. And it's not like you walk outside, even with the crap that we have on the ground, it's slick. But you can still somewhat get a little bit of traction on it because your weight kind of pushes down into it. That cobblestone ice, you were like ice skating on your shoes. You could get no grip whatsoever. And it was crazy. And one of the days they shut down school because they had like still big old chunks of ice on the school roof that hadn't fully melted or like broken off to where it was like a falling hazard. So they actually shut down school because of that, because they didn't want kids walking into the school and getting freaking hit by a freaking big ass chunk of ice. So but Bobby, kiss my ass. Down here in the South, we don't get this freaking cold weather shit.
Boy, howdy.
What's this white crap falling from the sky? I don't know what the fuck this shit is.
I'm fixing to throw a fit.
But damn, it's fucking cold.
Who's got my Pall Malls?
Anyways, 2.5. We made it again. Look at us go. Of course, the last 20 minutes was weather. Yay, team. So enthusiastic there, Vinny. So enthusiastic.
I was kind of on the sidelines tonight. So I'm not.
Did you at least enjoy some of the stories?
I enjoy every minute that I'm ever on this show. I'm starting to get a head cold, so that's probably 9/10 of the problem.
Yeah, well. Oh, speak for yourself, better half. You're probably getting sick too.
Already is.
Uh-huh. My point.
Yes, sir.
Oh. So I think we can wrap this one up, Dave.
We could come back next week and go over the results of the Hall of Fame. No.
If they're tabulated, we could at least say a big congratulations, especially if, Brad gets in or Steve gets in or you get in.
That's what we can end with. Who do you think's getting in? Just go up to 5. Again, I don't know if they're going to do they haven't done the vets committee. They haven't done like the Joey Ryan fan. Whichever one it is. Joe Ryan's fan. Yeah.
Well, you saw I mentioned it on the IRP last week. I put it in my video of my nomination about the Veterans Committee. And Scotty Tradition actually commented on my video. It was like, I was just talking to Jake about that. So maybe there'll be a change.
Ed was vocal in that too on his.
Do what?
Ed, I don't know if you've seen his video yet, but he's very vocal with like he used to be like a vets committee of actual vets, either in or not in, because they know even if it's just one person a year or
well, yeah, like I said, 3 to 5 guys. Those 3 to 5 guys each can nominate 1 or 2 channels. And then you put the ballot out to the community. Let the community decide who gets in on the the Veterans Committee ballot. And if it's 1 or 2, or if it's 1, if it's 2, or
even have that be a percentage.
85%, 90%.
And see, that's where baseball. And again, I don't know how it corresponds with other Hall of Fames, but baseball 75. That's where 3/4 of your peers or your whatever. That's the magic number, 75%. Okay, then when you want to have it sort of mimic or mirror the actual Hall of Fame, especially the baseball guys, have that be your threshold. Have that be the whatever. That's got to be the barometer.
And if you cap it at 2,
yeah,
a few people. So Mike, a few people have put it in their nomination videos, but it's one of those in which it seems as though that's kind of fell by the wayside. That and the lifetime
Sevens.
achievement,
Yeah,
the Sevens lifetime
award.
achievements. Which is kind of like a veterans award if you think about it, but expand that at least 3 to 5 guys who've been doing it for 8 years or longer, let's say.
And
They
both of
each-
the
What was that? No, go ahead.
no finish your
Go
thought.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say both of those awards, the rules were very blurred. You didn't know if that was like a separate award. It's another vote for them to get into the Hall of Fame. It was very blurry.
Well, so those were meant for those in the Hall of Fame to cast those votes.
Yep.
The only difference is for us minions,
Plebes.
we didn't understand how that stuff got tabulated.
Yeah, and did those people who won, did they get into the Hall of Fame?
Yes. They are they are members of the Hall of Fame.
No, the people that they voted in for that good guy award, or was it just
Yes.
an award?
No, they got in.
Yeah, they got patches.
Not all of them got in.
No.
They were their own separate group of votes.
Okay.
So
And how that happens, nobody knows.
But that's what I'm saying. None of us understood exactly how those votes got tabulated.
Clear as Texas tea. Got it.
Because a lot of people voted for different people for those awards. And for those of us who weren't in the Hall of Fame, I guess it didn't matter how it was tabulated. But, I digress. But
And that's where,
Yep.
if I'm Jake, January 1st rolls around. Even if you fucking just say, you save your video from the year before, YouTube Hall of Fame rules. Here's what we're doing. Transparency. Here's how the voting is going to be tabulated. Especially if you bring back that stuff, which you should, because again, I know the content's only been around. The video makers have been around since 2016. The hobby started up late 2018. That it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the Jay and Silent Bob Clown Shoe Award. And I mean,
Well,
Team Schmedian, Home Ec Close, and Human Stinkline in a 3-way tie for first. I mean, the Human Centipede is now reinvented.
Well, as we all know, the concept is being involved though in the community. None of those are. So therefore, they should not ever get in. If people are voting it on content quality, if that's really the focal point, or subs or views, then yes, you see some of them get votes, as you would. But the whole concept was it's community based, which is why you don't see many of those channels get a shit ton of votes. But that's also why I stand behind the Veterans Committee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it, whether or not it happens, who knows? But I'm not opposed to at least putting stuff out there as a suggestion. But so you asked, the only ones that really stick out on the top of my head: Picker Jim S, Elite Hunters, Lou Rock TV, Brad. I think Brad slips in at 4 or 5. But I know Elite Hunters I've seen a shit ton of. Picker Jim S I've heard a shit ton of. Lou Rock TV has been said a shit ton.
One more. Christmas time.
Oh, Reindeer Studios. But it's one of those in which I still think Brad gets in at 4 or 5. I think Mike Hitman 23 just misses. You should be in the top 10, Dave. I think Steve just misses out.
Jimmy Guns is going to be somewhere near.
He's gonna be up there. Yep, 6 or 7. But of some of those that were mentioned, they're some of the bigger channels. They probably, I don't want to say probably, they are deserving. All the people that those individuals that were voted are well deserving. I'm not saying that they're not, but the difference is if those guys get in, then what does 2024 look like? Because like if Aranya Boys doesn't get in, Victor Negron doesn't get in,
Jimmy
there are other. Do what?
Jimmy doesn't get in. If he doesn't get in,
If Jimmy doesn't get in, it's one of those in which those 3, Hitman 23 is another one. I mean, those are 4 guys that probably would be in the top for next year's ballot.
And then you got, is it John Wade Boggs fan? Who people?
Yes, he'll be. He'll be eligible next year.
4
The
weeks.
the IRP will be eligible for 2024. And to be brutally honest, I'd rather us get in as the IRP than as individuals.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I'd like to get in 2 times.
You
So
have
then
a possible, but you
so
have a
then-
possibility.
So then they can be my new bikini.
But Dave, you do have that possibility. If Jake carries this on for another 3 to 5 years, it's a good possibility. Because I don't foresee a shit ton of people coming out of the woodwork that just automatically, if they start today, you got to be making videos for 3 years. By that time, it may be done and gone. Carlos has gotten a shit ton of votes this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, top 5. I think it's, Card Hobbyist has it. I think he's dead on. I think that's probably who it's going to be. But like Carlos says, anything after that, all the way up to like the top 15, it's going to be close. So, but yeah.
Still, and again, not upset, but you want to see the people that we talked about it last week. You're voted in by your peers. You've seen a lot of videos. It doesn't take 30 minutes. You can talk about the channels, but I always take now into consideration, if you don't know these channels, then that's on you. If I put you on the channel, that doesn't do you any good. If you somehow take form of fashion in whatever percentage value, whatever I'm saying, like, okay, maybe I'll go take a peek. As I said before, I want to see myself instead of just blindly subbing. And you take into consideration the watch time for Jake. It's like we've talked about it a million times. You've got a youngster. He doesn't need to be spending 6 hours a day fucking rifling through middle-aged men talking about middle-aged men who collect middle-aged men on cardboard. Just to the point, say, hey, if you want to say a little quip about something, do it. But a 5-minute lecture about every person you put on there, that's a fucking hour. If you do 10 people. So I just wish the people that were in you don't need to, it's not a responsibility or something you should feel you need to do, but people took the time for you for this fictitious award. You should at least take 5 minutes and do for whoever you watch or whoever you know or whoever you value, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So
well, normally I would have put everybody's name in the description. but I wanted to make sure it's
People watch.
well. I wanted to make sure Jake caught the recommendation of the Veterans Committee.
Yes.
If I wouldn't have put that in there, then I would have just put them in the description. But it's one of those in which I wanted to make sure that he at least heard it,
Hmm.
and that I'm not the only one that thinks that that should be a thing. Because, like I said, Scotty Tradition brought it up to Jake. Because look at his ballot. Most of them were old school. So there are enough individuals out there that are in the mid range to where they still recognize the old school channels that quote unquote paved the way for what it is now.
Hmm.
Not trying to, it's not like we're pioneers or anything along those lines, but you can call it a stepping stone. Because if we wouldn't have been making sports card videos, who's to say some of these other people wouldn't have started making videos if they didn't realize it was a thing?
So again, I've got lots of issues with it, but it's more or less the people and their, and you'll never have everyone think the same. You can't do that. But when you hear the baseball centric folks say, okay, this person's been on like 3-4 years, this is a surefire Hall of Famer. In what sport, anywhere, after 3 or 4 years, is anyone a surefire Hall of Famer? I'll give you the answer. Horse racing. That's about it. A horse that might get like injured or break a leg and have to be euthanized. But that's it.
Yep.
Usually, and again, you hear it a lot more this year, and I'm glad. The longevity. It is fucking longevity. It is a grind for a lot of us to do it. We still do it because we like to interact. We're proud to show off our fucking collections. That might not be a 52 Mantle Tops rookie. That might not be some old school set or like a PSA registry or fucking a $8 million card challenge. It's shit we enjoy, shit we have stories behind, shit we have connections made from. And that should, again, my opinion, that's why I champion the older guys most of the time. There's some new guys that I really gravitate towards and I enjoy. But that's where I'm always going to vote for Micah. Will Micah ever get in on the basis of other folks voting? Probably not. It probably won't happen unless he reinvents himself and starts doing like the old Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, like the jig on the the stage there with the cane. But that's with the Veterans Committee. That's where somebody like him who's been fucking constantly doing it. Just plugging along. He's got the Model T and everybody else has a fucking Gotti. He's still going.
Well, Drew is another one.
Yeah.
Phil's another one.
Yeah.
And those are guys still making videos. And yeah, I put a few guys on there that don't, but it's still one of those in which, like Sictifer's the whole reason why I started making videos. He convinced me to do it, which is why he's always going to get my vote. Always. Just do it. Just do it. Stop making excuses and just do it. But, it's...
Yeah, it's going to suck. Nobody cares. Nobody's videos are good.
Yep.
We're all
I
doing
mean-
the same thing at a camera, or we're pointing a camera away from us.
And it's good to see. I mean, Rick, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks, a veterans committee is something that is needed. And to me, it's more to show tribute
If
to
fucking Harold Baines
those-
got in the Hall of Fame, Harold fucking Baines, nobody. And again, when it happened, then you start having the discussions or arguments, yay or nay. It's like, before Harold Baines got in, give me the percentage of the quote unquote baseball purists and all these guys that love baseball that thought, hey, Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer. It's going to be less than 5%, probably less than 2%. Was he a very solid player? Yeah.
Yep.
Did you say Harold Baines is going to carry that team? No.
No.
Frank Thomas would carry the team. Before Frank Thomas, nobody, not even stick to first favorite, Ron Kittle, could carry the team. Dan Pasqua, good old slapstick, Davey Martinez, Ozzie Guillen, none of those fuckers. Parker Weiss, Pudge Fisk, he could carry it, but he was at the end of his rope.
Yeah.
Harold Baines was not carrying the team. That was a bad team. Except with
Agreed.
86 and LaRussa fucked us, but I digress. You look at that, it's like, well, if Harold Baines is a Hall of Famer, out of pure fucking longevity, why isn't Jesse Orozco a Hall of Famer? What was it? Ruben Sierra fucking played for how many years? Or no, Julio Franco. Julio Franco played forever. It's like
forever and a day.
It's okay. Harold Baines had a lot of successful years, but at the end it was sort of lean. Orozco was a very steady hand in the bullpen. Franco could hit. He still had good average. Not as much power as he had fucking back in the late 80s, but again, nobody gets better with age like that. And that's where my mind really struggles, and my mind struggles a lot. But with this, it struggles with that where you're looking more at the graphics and the collection right away. I get where people have fucking insane collections. I know that Elite Hunter, this dude, has a fucking ridiculous collection. The only problem I have with that, you come onto YouTube and start showing because of others, and you've already sort of built in that collection. We had good collections, but as we got on here, you could see the maturation and the directions those collections went. You could see, oh man, he's like, maybe there's a promotion in a job. Maybe you sold something that you had, that a $30,000 bass boat you don't buy or you don't use anymore. Like, fuck it, I'm going to get rid of this. I haven't used it in 4 years. It's just sitting out back. Use those funds for a trip, something else, whatever. Use it for cards. Okay, now the card collection bumps up a little. You get a Lombardi cut. You get something like this. You get something like that. A Mantle. Again, 52 Topps rookie, which is the cornerstone of any collection. You can see that, and now it's sort of like I come on here, like you can join in and like look at all these great cards they have. Not taking away from any of the collecting that these people have done. But when you sort of step in and like, welcome to my museum. Well, that's not a fun introduction. I want to see you when you're sort of groveling for the Topps fucking commons at a card shop or something. I want to see a growth, family-wise, personality-wise, collection-wise. Again, that's me. My brain fucking is thankfully the only one like this. But that's what I look at. It's like, okay, you have a great collection.
But it's all valid points, Dave. But that's, at the end of the day, it's your ballot is your ballot for whatever reason you cast. And a lot of us OGs think the same in a lot of ways. But that brings me to Mike's question. To answer the question, No. Most of us would not care.
No.
The only thing that would make us care is knowing that there are people out there
That
that
care.
that cared enough to put us on their ballot,
Mm.
because it's still the community nowadays. The community was different then. And this is what, when Jason was on, we were talking about this. All of us knew each other. We knew you by screen name and by your name. Everybody. Even the people that you didn't like or you didn't care for. We
And
all still. Go ahead.
who
You
you
said
collected, what your main collection
Yes.
was.
Yes.
It's like
So-
TD guy. That's Steve. That's the Broncos 79.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Everybody knew it. So, and that's the difference. So from our perspective and our mindset, it really boils down to, do we care? No. But the part in which we would care about is the fact of those people who thought enough about us to put us on the list. It's no different than getting a care package from somebody. It's never an expectation, but the fact that somebody took the time to send something to you, doesn't matter what's in it. It could be a bunch of common cards.
Mhm.
We're not going to care because it's thank you for taking the time and sending something to me. Doesn't matter quality over quantity. That doesn't matter. It's the fact that you thought of me. And that's the same concept with being able to get into the Hall of Fame. So,
Yeah, it's yeah. Again, when you watch it, you will be in that same boat, Steve. I'm not bullshitting you.
okay,
It-
I'll have to watch it.
It's fucking tough to sit there, and I'm like, I hope there's like in the descriptor, it's like it's a 2-minute video, and I'm like, there we go. I can read it.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
It
we've gone on an extra 27 minutes.
but we got a good discussion out of it, so that's fine. I mean, if it was
No,
just
agreed. Yes, Carlos, I saw it. I haven't looked at it yet.
that's the thing, Mike. It's where your peers, and if they give a reason, it's not just the blanket statement, a good collection. Because anybody can fucking have a good collection if you choose to divert your funds in that type of fashion. Just for me personally, it's the passion you show when you collect. You also have to have knowledge. Again, I gave my criterias before. You have to be a good person. And I mean, you don't have to fucking go to church or believe in something or always agree with everybody else. It's my personal, I don't know what you'd call it, my viewpoint of somebody being a good person. And then I want you to somewhat involved in the community. I don't need to see you in every live stream. I don't need to see you commenting on every video. Is that nice? Yeah, that's nice to see. Again, we've discussed it ad nauseum the last couple of weeks. We got X amount of hours in the day. As much as we'd love to do that, we did that in the past, and it's a stressor on all parties involved. If you can do that and you can manage and you enjoy it, we're not knocking you. But when people just say, "Man, he's got just a wild collection," and he's a great person, I like to have just a little more depth in mind. We'll never sit there and tell you how to vote, who to vote, why to vote. We'll tell you when before.
Just vote.
Yeah. Have an opinion, have somewhat of a semblance of a thought behind it, don't just vote because, hey, Lou Rock voted for Elite Hunters, so I'm going to vote for them. And it was like Rick voted for him, and somebody, Dead Guy Cardboard, voted for him. Well, no, vote for the people you think deserve it.
Yep.
So,
for whatever reason, whatever
Yeah.
criteria you have,
for hashtag reasons,
there you go.
be an ombudsman for the community.
Got to get in that nomenclature. Thanks to
Oh.
our good friend Cardboard Underground for that term that we all had to go look up and figure out what the hell the definition was.
And I was gonna say, I told DC I'd show this. I haven't taken it out of the. I've had this forever and a day. The old New Japan Cody Rhodes wallet. He's like, "Are you gonna get it signed if you meet Rhodes again?" I said, "No. That's not coming out of the plastic. It's staying in there."
Rick, I think you may be right. I think there was definitely a lot more votes casted this year than last year. Because there was a shit ton of videos.
I know I'd sprinkle the chat with some of them. Some surprises where I'm like,
yeah,
I know this person, like we said, Just the Bears. I've been subscribed to him for a couple of years, but the interactions are about as much as I've had with the Rug and him. So to hear that and to see that again, it's always honoring, or it's always humbling. It's always been an honor, just again to know we're, like Steve said, doing something right, whatever that is, and folks like it or buy into it and just agree with us. Because again, we don't have the shops around here. We don't have. Steve's got the Dallas show, but I know when he goes there, people hoard and come towards him for that hockey oracle nomenclature that he's so used to bringing to every setting he goes to. And Sergei Zubov would be like, I've got the private signing. Oh, the hockey oracle.
If I were to go without the hat, most people wouldn't even freaking know who the fuck I am.
Wear a Subway shirt, then you can be Tony Romo.
I was about to say, calm down, Tony Romo.
I still have my some of my Subway shirts from when I worked there.
Mr. Romo,
my kid has them.
Mr. Romo, can I have your autograph?
His is easy to forge. It's a T and an R. It's not hard.
You could put hashtag Subway on there and somebody will sell it on eBay.
All right, Dave, wrap us up, man.
So, thank you for Foxy for jumping on. Any of you folks that did get the invite before, fuck you. I mean, again, you're more than welcome on. Just I'll do sometimes a better job of sending them out earlier. Sometimes I won't. So that's on you guys, not me. So I've got votes for the Hall of Fame. So fuck off. But thank you, Jason, for coming on here, waxing nostalgic for Blog TV. We'll always do that. It was such a fun time. Where again, in a room of like 1 million people, like 50 of us will know what's going on, and the rest will be like, "Fuck are these people doing?" We're laughing about fucking Rob Med 9 and Uncle Willie. It's what the fuck is that? Sounds like somebody's pulling out of his pants. Hold on, folks. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Absolutely, Mike. At some point, we'll get you on here. Always, again, that's open for pretty much anyone in the chat to get something on here. But thank you. It's fun. Discussion's fun. Again, 3 hours goes by and it feels like 20 minutes. So
hashtag vote for IRP in 2024.
yeah. Expect us when we hit that 3-year mark. We'll have a video out every day. Jason is an interesting character. When the Prism basketball was going on with the Luka rookie year, he would go live on Facebook all the time. He'd be going to Targets if he had a find, and he'd come out and be like, "Hey, I'm a degenerate. Look what I found." He's got like a whole fucking bag of like blasters and hangers and shit, and I'm fucked up. And then he just go fucking. He'd be like, "Well, I gotta go back to work." So later on, like 7 o'clock Eastern time, I'll get on here and I'll start ripping, and that'd be the same. It'd be like blog. It'd be like the same 7 or 8 of us every time. I think Will Clark fan who jumped over from the forums, Jose. Sometimes BT if he was not doing whatever. Bogo would be there. Mike Ashley.
In Bogo we trust.
Yep. And Dazzler would be there. I'd be there. Rob would be there. It'd just be fun. It'd just be fucking fun. So again, I wish his videos were still up. I didn't know he took most of them down. Foxborough Sensation 11. That is an ode to Mr. Drew Bledsoe. So, but he lives in Ohio. If you missed it earlier, that's where he's at. So.
And no, Mike, not RIP 2024.
You're close.
I don't know. I don't know how to take that. Maybe he's trying to tell us something.
Apparently, we're DOA 2024.
Ouch.
Well, if we get in in 2024, as the RIP, HOF might be RIP.
This is true too.
Especially if Bench Clear doesn't if Bench Clear doesn't get in before us, that's gonna fucking cause some consternation.
So he confirmed it. Oh shit.
But again, thank you guys all joining in. We get some votes tabulated and that video comes up, we can I hope so, Baz. I need a good chicken sandwich. I gotta go back to somewhere and find one. I need a Nashville hot one. A lot of hot sauce and a lot of pickles. So
Later, Mike.
Take care, Mike. So we'll probably talk a little bit about it next week. Maybe, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? Probably talk a little more football too. That might be the show. Talk the Hall of Fame ballots. Again, the rare time we sort of direct you in the lanes of what we're going to talk about and the football goings on, because we really haven't touched a lot about that the last couple of weeks. And Steve's team's got a new coach, and we'll talk about that more next week so we don't drag on. I woke up from my nap and I saw that. I'm like, interesting. So catch Carlos, who was in here Friday nights. Watch him. Give him the thumbs up because Eric needs to pay. He needs to pay dearly. And for Vinny, for Steve, and Dave, it's been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cardboard, it's a wonderful hobby. The friendships that you forge in this hobby, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.